Well, start it.
It started.
You didn't do a, we're not doing an intro, you're not explaining what's going on, we're just here, I guess.
1 second, I'm writing hi everybody. Yes, there we go.
Hi everybody, more like hi, I know, but
Hi everyone.
I swear we're here.
Don't you dare do this to me.
What'd it do?
Oh, that's what it's doing. I'm live now, thank you. Okay, I was on the wrong thing.
Yay.
Oh
Yay.
my gosh, I'm going to do this. There we go. There we go.
Yay. I love being distracted.
There we go. Okay.
Okay.
There we go. Hey.
Welcome to Perjury.
Yes. Hey everyone. We're streaming and arting and talking about, I don't know, random things,
Anything.
scary things,
Everything.
SCPs, all
Rambling.
the things. Rambles, you know. Why I sketched this beautiful art piece
Again.
here.
Again.
On my channel, you'll find her there, but I wanted to redo her because I wasn't proud of what I made. So, we're just redoing the whole shenanigans here.
And I finished her already. This is Kaneko. I finished her. I finished another character. I don't know if the lovely Redizen would even be willing to show what I've done, or if you guys have to wait for those speed paints. You probably have to wait for the speed paints.
Facebook. Real quick.
Do you? 1 second. Some weirdo is texting me at like 1:40.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It says red. Yeah, I don't know what that's all about.
Oh yeah. Gosh, I know her. She sounds terrible.
She sucks too. You never
Red.
met her.
Who names their kid that?
Who even? Yeah, you say send it through.
Yeah, so I can put it side by side. So I have dishes and then yours on the other side. And then I can do that for. Woo, I got 2 slimes there. Do that for the send also the
I sent
Isaac.
it to the wrong person. 1 second.
Yes.
I sent it to
There you go.
Dish.
Oh, perfect. It's just like, why did you give me my own art?
No, my.
Oh, yours. Yeah.
I'm gonna send this one too.
Sorry, I'm a dork. Okay. Yay. Okay, 1 second, guys. I am going to get some art projects really quick so you can say things. Beautiful items. Save. Next one. Slime nurse. Okay. Go in. Pink. Pink. Set up Facebook. Don't need that anymore. Going to there. Going to tool options. Pressing that. Add new. There you go. There you go.
Beautiful.
There's that one, and then we'll get the other one. Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. That one, and then Slammy K. There we go.
Salami. Apparently, I am grounded.
Are you by whom? Yeah. There is, if you were curious what Koneko's looks like, this is Koneko's on the right. Dishes is on the left. Mine's in the middle. And so, this is, I guess, our competition, what we're doing. Obviously, you can see the different art styles.
Sorry, I'm back.
And this is
I had to move.
slime, and then other slime, which is, excuse me, wow, I'm rude. This, the one on the left is Koneko's, and then on the left is Dishes.
The one on the left is Koneko, and the one on the left is Dishes.
I mean, right. Sorry. Oh, thanks for pointing that one out.
I know you have 2 left feet, but come on.
No, I got two rights and a left.
You have 3 feet.
Well, the pants.
Must be hard buying pants. Pants. It goes a little to the other side.
It hugs one side. Okay.
Yeah, so to explain again, and an update. So, a friend of ours, nicknamed Dishwasher Safe, also known as Dish, needed some help motivating themselves to draw out some of these characters they rarely draw. And so they posted on Facebook about this predicament, and a good portion of their friends still, were all like, yeah, you should do that, or, oh, your art is really good, just have more confidence in yourself. And then I just come up there like, are you asking me to draw some art for you? They're like, no, I just need help motivating. And then I went, I challenge you to an art drawing duel. Whoever can draw most of these characters, well, the most of the characters, first win.
Sorry.
And they can request anything from the loser, but because we're all broke, it's most likely going to be art. So basically, there's no losing in the scenario because we all get art done. And so originally that was between me and Dish. Are you doing the transparent right off the bat? I did mine the solid color and then transparented it out.
Oh no.
I have 2 layers, one that's transparent and one that's not, for the redness. Anyway. What?
Nothing, continue.
Okay. And so, what I ended up doing was to help Red in her own little artistic funk. I asked her if she wanted to speed draw some of these characters out with me, separate from Dish's little thing with me. And then, of course, we asked Dish if this was okay with them, and they said yes, of course. Well, of course, But inadvertently, Red is now in the contest. So Red now needs to catch up. So far, I am in first place. Shocker. I have pumped out 2 characters already in their own individual thing. I have 2 others drawn out. One was already lined and starting to throw the color and shading in. The other one is just already drawn out.
Sorry, my pen lost connection there for a second.
Whereas Red technically finished her slime nurse before I did. She did not like her original end piece and said she'd withdraw it. And so, with me cemented in the lead, I am just continuing on and also probably going to be talking to you guys, so I'm still going to be a little lag behind what I could be. And maybe on top of that, I might do some more editing because, as Red knows, I am addicted to procrastination of all types. But we'll see. I might be too overloaded with everything and might have to drop a few of those requirements. A few of those tasks. So welcome, everyone. Every single one of you. Those who know what's going to happen in these conversations, which there shouldn't be a lot of you, and those who have no idea, welcome. We probably have 0 viewers, which is great.
We actually have two
I like
viewing.
this. Who's the other one?
I know one's
one
me.
Of them is you. Who's the other one?
Because I'm watching the feed. I don't know who the other one is. They haven't messaged me.
You're gonna have to let us know who you are. Put it in the chat. We love you for actually sitting through this shit show.
So
I think I might break into the more specifics of how Red and I met in this one. That might be nice. What do you think?
I thought we already went through that, though.
Oh, we said we met at Job Corps. We didn't mention, Fussles. I think you were in the back. Fussles was working on a story or something, and you were playing that masquerade game. And I started talking to one of you. I think it was Fussles first. But then you and I ended up in Christmas Choir together.
Because I don't sing.
Then why? Oh yeah, everyone was Fergie'd in. I forgot about that.
Well, I actually could sing. It's just Fergie's like, hey.
Okay, so we need some explanation. So Fergie is the gentle giant Sasquatch, Bigfoot, of our specific Job Corps. Very, very gentle, soft-spoken man. Very tall. And basically conceived and nourished and grew up at Job Corps. He could be right next to you 1 minute and then halfway across the Job Corps Center the next. And I don't know if he created the Fergie tunnels or just adopted them.
The Fergie tunnels.
The Fergie tunnels, that's how he moves around. But he's a very gentle giant of a man. And he has a very, very soft-spoken voice. And you kind of feel pressured into doing things, but he never ever really pressured you into doing it. And so everyone that kind of could sing, but we're like, I'm not sure if I really want to do this, was Fergie'd into the Christmas choir. What are you doing?
What am I doing? Is this showing on the stream?
Probably.
No, it's not. It's not showing on the stream.
What are you doing then?
Wouldn't you like to know? I'll
get back to my story.
I'm getting back to my stories. I was literally just gonna repeat what you just Shit. I'm turning flesh and red right now because I'm looking at things I shouldn't be.
I'm embarrassed.
No, I'm looking at nurse pinup girls.
Nurse poses.
Pinup girls.
Anyway, that was my suggestion last time, so I'm glad you're taking my suggestion.
Well, I looked up. Last time I looked up pinup girls too. For the one space chick, and I looked up spacey pinup girls, and I found a few.
Ooh.
Now I'm looking at nurses.
Okay, well, I'll get back to my story. That's
Yes.
more important than what you're doing.
I think our viewers are more interested in pinup girls.
I can't even see them.
I know, this is the beauty.
Anyway,
Oh.
so we ended up being stuck there. It ended up being Red, Takai, and Hitori and me in Christmas choir. Um,
A good old Christmas choir.
Help,
Eh,
I'm
You,
having a stroke.
you never know about those strokes. Everything starts tasting like pineapples.
Oh my god, it smells purple.
I smell purple. Is it alright to smell colors? I don't feel right.
It's a new complex in life. Um, but yeah, we all got Fergied in and hung out a little bit there. But Red Shocker was actually
Gay.
part of uh oh no.
Red nose.
She helped with the game room of our job corps. So imagine the gamer Red doing stuff for the game room. It's
Yeah.
preposterous.
Preposterous.
And
How
so
dare
that's
you do things like that?
No, Billy. I don't like it.
um the viewers are going to leave.
They already left us.
Really?
Yeah. People come and go all the time with Twitch. Trust me, I know.
Boring. Anywho, well, I'll just continue
That
talking
is
because this
too
is getting
big of
recorded.
boobies.
You're looking at my boobs. Don't look at my boobs. Look at her boobs. Look at Dish's boobs.
Poor
Is gonna
Dish.
like that. Anywho, so we got Fergied in. And Red spent most of her time up in the game room, so
Hooligan.
sadness. But Red also had a little bit of a management in the dorm and slacked on that.
Oh, I slacked on it? No, I was nice because people were adults, and I thought, why not do that? And then the other leaders never treated me like a leader because whenever I even piped up my own opinions, but nobody listened to me, so I just gave up and then moved out.
You're like, everyone's adults, but I'm like literally 17.
Adulting.
You did turn 17 shortly after I showed up, because I showed up in like October.
I went after you were there.
Yeah, I showed up in October, and your birthday's in December.
Yes. See.
Okay. See. Yet Sit. All I ever do is scream. Anywho.
Sorry, Dish.
So, sorry. Get them two longers in there. But as we did say before, our friendship really didn't comulate. No, that's not the word. I'm not good at words right now. Culminate. There we go. It didn't quite do anything for quite a while, which is fine. As we both have our little issues, we tend to try not to be a bother in other people's lives, which by a bother in our minds, I guess, means existing at all in anyone else's life.
Sounds accurate.
Sounds accurate. We felt bad even popping in to check on people is the sad part. So we just thought they'd be better off, and I would prefer it if we didn't talk to them and bother them. And I don't even have a nickname for him. What? I don't have a nickname for him. All I have is his name.
Give me hints.
welder, big, Hitori's friend, dorm 3, art room, leather, killer farts.
I want to know
The
about
last one
those.
should have given it away. Huh?
I didn't know about those.
Any of the? I refer to him as the Spanish Inquisition, so I'm going to refer to him as Spanish Inquisition. Spanish Inquisition was made a rather, joking reply to the fact that we never check in with him. We just don't talk to him at all. And I tried to explain that it's because we as in me, I don't like popping into people's lives because I feel like I'm bothering them, even though I might not be. But I've always answered his calls through Facebook.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Okay, we'll confirm afterwards, but you probably do. Yeah. He ended up kicking Hitori in the nuts.
Again, there's some things I just don't know about.
Hitori! Oh, there it is. Hitori emailed me like he said he would, but I don't know if he gave enough time for me to actually get the email before just busting down the door and going, "Where's my horse?"
Well, regardless, it wouldn't have mattered because, again, this is a live stream, not a recording. Heads up, guys. Gotta mute myself for a second because my husband is coming in.
You have a husband.
Yes.
So the headphones they have are the little pot, like the little interchangeable squishy little earbuds, right? And so I popped one out to listen to Hitori, because he said something sassy, and the adjustable size part, the squishy size part, got stuck in my ear.
Yes.
And I just showed it to Hitori, and he's like, "Do you need help?" I'm like,
I'm picking up my ear, guys. And sooner or later, I'm gonna start picking your brain too.
Ooh, that's a big calf. Drink down the calf.
There's a calf right there. I said I liked them thick, but I'm not sure how thick I wanted it. Till I saw those calves, I'm like, yeah, that's thick.
That's a bit sick.
Bit thick. It sounded like you said shit.
Chick. Oh.
Wild red times are big. But yeah, Spanish Inquisition, wild kid.
Isn't okay? I have a confirm, and it's a good confirmation, and it doesn't exclude anything. But is he the one who did things on the futon with his girlfriend?
I don't know.
How do you
I don't
not
know if
know? Did he visit you?
We did what on the food?
Oh God!
Oh no!
Wrong
that's
person,
that's
okay.
the other. That's the other welder. I'm talking about the big, like bulky welder, kind of ginger, but big. Dorm 3,
But big.
bad gas, real bad gas, like killer gas, obsessed with hot sauce.
I don't know then. I don't remember everybody's face.
I will send it to you through text messages so you can.
Watch me just not know.
I still don't get it.
I still don't get it.
What is it? Let me see his profile. Thank you. God, fuck. Damn it, I'm supposed to be censoring myself more.
Well, it's
Okay,
Twitch.
I'm sending it
just a little
text.
bit, not too much.
I love how you put it as the message of shredded.
What?
I don't know. He just replied to like a message I sent him a while back, and he said, "I'm coming in."
I'm coming in. Oh, fix
But
the legs later.
you'll see who it is. He is now referred to as Spanish Inquisition because I never know when he's going to call. He never asks if I am up for a call. He just calls.
Some people just don't like texts.
Burst it, and then he, as abruptly as he shows up, he leaves.
Oh, needed to see the face.
I said kind of ginger, right?
Yeah.
And he's big, and he was a welder. And he was in. Okay, in your defense, the other dude you thought it was also in Dorm 3 and a welder. So
Yeah.
hey, you remember when your buddy came back from the military back to Job Corps and went into
Bobby?
We're trying to exclude names, asshole.
Well, I think I said it quietly.
No,
But
you
they
did
still
not.
can hear you.
They can still hear you.
Eh.
You didn't say it quietly at all. Well, you don't have his last name unless he wants to be a real dick about everything.
You're gonna get famous real fast.
Yeah, so, Bobby, she thought Bobby was the Spanish
Bobby.
Inquisition.
Bobby,
The
I
Spanish
need-
Inquisition. Got the two confused. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't sure.
I wasn't sure. He's like, when you were like on the futon. By the way, it was a hide-a-bed, not a futon.
Either
broke our hide-
way.
They broke our hide-a-bed and didn't even pay us back. Oh, and she did the crazy thing that one chick did to Takai. She was crazy.
She was loony bin.
Yeah, but he is in another relationship, and at the least I know he was very happy about that relationship. Seemed a little more healthier to him.
When did you talk to him?
Forever ago, so yeah. He's in Not Living Valley. And get the fuck out of here, state.
Yeah, I know.
In hospital.
I know where he's at. I'm gonna erase this thing syringe real quick.
Oh, man,
Get out of my way.
I'm supposed to be doing. Can you imagine how fun it is for me to remember all these people and try to figure out accurate nicknames for them? Now one of them is just me saying their name, but like coughing.
This person.
Trying to do a very poor Hank Hill impression.
I'm failing at this pinup
Just
girl pose.
Wild times at John. Not well, it takes practice, and you don't want to draw with shapes. Round is a shape.
Breasts are shape, right?
I do.
Watch, I have a kid and then mom's gonna yell at me. How dare you say things in front of my child? I can't see their faces.
I wasn't in front of them. I was behind them the entire time. What was it? What was the meme? Nothing personal, kid.
Nothing personal, kid.
Just
Disgusting!
take them out. Disgusting!
Tube's a shape, right?
My tubes. Sure. Anthills are a shape too. What's your point?
Hills are a shape too.
No offense to any women that feel like they have anthills. There's some dude who loves boobs no matter what they are.
Some
And they
like
should.
anthills. I'm just saying. All boobs are beautiful and uneven.
And uneven, yeah, they're definitely uneven. The human body is uneven. I don't know why, because you can't be happy with yourself.
You can't be pretty.
Sorry.
Okay.
You have an obsession for symmetry, like Death the Kid. Too bad.
God, excuse me. I am rude right now.
Well, don't you know how to burp like a normal human? You belch it out real.
You make sure it's better out than in, okay?
No, to burp like a proper human, you have to make sure you're farting louder than you're burping.
Okay. Got it.
Expel out both ends.
Oh, God. What have I done?
I have no idea. I'm just trying to remember stuff to talk about. I like vomiting up my past.
Bring front.
So
Lower. Send you back.
I've never really been too good with video games, to be honest. I love video games, but I've never been too good at them. The only Halo game I've ever played is Halo 2. And it was then that I learned my disdain for online multiplayer and not just basically, if there's someone better than me and I'm against them, I hate the game.
Yeah.
So not very good at, being a good sport, and I'm a poor loser. Well, in my defense, I do have 2 older brothers that are assholes. So
yes.
The pattern would be, if we have to, go 1, 2, and 3. So my eldest brother is 1. My older brother is 2. I'm 3. So 1 would kill 2. 1 would kill 3. 2 would kill 3. 1 would kill 2. 1 would kill 3. 1 would kill 3. 2 would kill 3. 2 would kill 1. 1 would kill 2. 1 would kill 3. 2 would kill 3. 1 will kill 3. 2 will kill 3. 3 killed 2. 1 killed 3. That would be the pattern, basically. I did not have fun. And eventually, whenever they would force me to play the versus multiplayer, because all 3 of us wanted to play at the same time, I would end up committing suicide about 5 minutes in for the rest of the game. And then it would just be a race to who can kill me before I commit suicide. Sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I enjoyed doing a Halo 2 campaign, and as He30 can attest to, it's the only thing I will play unless, he dedicates time to taking out everyone else and leading me through the entire map. I stand a half good chance in Halo 2, and only Halo 2. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's too distracted playing a different game. But aside from that, I enjoyed playing some good old Pokemon. Had also collected Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards, not just playing just the games. As a child with Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I did not know how to use them. And I did do I only want these specific cute cards. But we did manage to get our hands on, at one point, my brothers and I all got our hands on one of the Sphinx cards for Yu-Gi-Oh! And I got the girl one, but, if any of you remember that one, it's still badass, and it doesn't matter. It's just, they're beautifully drawn, and that's all that mattered to me. That one was sad too. Yeah, I played yellow version, but I did not play any yellow version. I played a very broken yellow version where you could not remove it from whatever game system it was in, or it would delete all your progress.
Yes. Yeah.
So you can imagine that was fun. And that happened to be the game that my brother used to check to see what gender Pikachu was. Specifically because it would keep resetting when you put it back in. But he also just gave me that yellow version because I said I wanted to play Pokemon and I didn't have one, and he was a dick. So why not give the youngest sibling a broken game? Little did he know I still loved it, and also really liked the fact that he at least gave me something to play. That was pretty cool. And then I tried and failed to play Legend of Zelda, and I'm going to pronounce this wrong because my brain takes a while to boot up on how to actually pronounce this. But it's Legend of Zelda. I want to say Ocarina of Time.
Yeah,
I believe that's the proper pronunciation of it.
Yeah, it's Ocarina.
Ocarina of Time. Ocarina. Not, I used to pronounce it Orcarina. I hate
Ocarina.
Orcarina.
Ocarina.
You can imagine it. That's more about just orcs fighting each other to the death than about some kid.
I feel Ocarina is a
getting
princess.
older. That too. I'm not even going to comment. It's adorable and terrifying at the same time. I love it. It's
Don't
like
you
that cat
lie.
I sent you.
Don't you lie to me.
Which one's creepier?
Still the cat.
My floating cat that knows too much? Yeah, it's still the cat. Anyway, so I played that, and then the problem is that what my brothers and I agreed to was that we would get a boss that we had to beat.
Oh. Sorry, she looks like
I think that I think the serpent mistress has gotten into your head a little too much.
Maybe.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Thank you for joining our stream. How's it go?
Too big.
Too big. And so what we agreed to was that we all were going to take on a boss, and it would do it rotating, that one of us would get a boss and then it would restart. So, my oldest would get the first boss, and then, which was cheating because I was the easiest boss. And then my older brother would get the second boss, and I'd get the third boss. If anyone remembers any of those bosses,
good for you.
As a kid, they were kind of hard, but also not too hard, which is fine. But of course, mine was the harder of the kid ones, I guess, because it was the water one. And I don't think the boss was as hard as trying to get through the fucking level. Because, if you guys don't know the first water little area, you go inside Lord Jabu Jabu, which is a giant fish-ish thing. And he has a problem. There are other things living inside him. Which, if anyone has had parasites before, you can understand how uncomfortable that is. But some of these parasites inside Lord Jabu Jabu happens to be electrified, which is messed up. And there's also these weird little holes that if you accidentally, they're like sinkholes that drop you down a level. And you can get really lost and really confused easily as a child and as an adult when I replayed it in the remastered version.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still got lost. I didn't like it. And of course, for a good portion of it, all of it, you have to carry the princess, one of the princesses, over your fucking head because she refuses to walk because, well, the last time she did walk, she ended up walking into one of those sinkholes, so especially doesn't do it again. She then declares that you're married at the end after you save her, which is hilarious, both then and now. Because you do want to marry the dude that saves you from, your own stupidity.
Right.
Oh my god. So bad. Also, if you guys agree that the king could have moved a little faster, if knowing that his daughter is stuck inside Lord Jabu Jabu, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Go check out my YouTube. Everyone agrees to that fact. You don't have to do any of that. And Red, if you don't know about that, it's annoying.
Yeah, no, I
Literally, it's the noise, it's how slow he fucking moves, it's his never moving, like his expression doesn't change the entire time, and and you're stuck watching him move. You can't even like run around in circles while he's scooting over.
I'm sorry.
It's hell.
It's hell in many
Yeah,
of forms now.
it's hell. Um,
Oop.
I can't quite remember what the boss was. I guess because, as it turns out, I was a wimp and scared of bosses. So my oldest brother would always play the bosses I was supposed to defeat because I was a fucking wimp. So I got some redemption when I completed the game completely later on in life. Only some. I'm still a fucking wimp.
You play Skyrim. How are you a wimp again?
The fact that I watch other people play scary games because I'm too much of a wimp to play them myself.
Oh, so if you live near me and I force you to play scary games, you won't?
Yes, and I will sneak laxatives into your food if you force me to. So, how about we tread lightly with each other?
Tread lightly.
Um,
Joke's on you. I haven't eaten in 2 days.
Joke's on you. That's not a good thing.
Joking. I've been eating. Don't worry, folks.
Better have been, or you're grounded.
Oh,
Give me 1 second, Red. Please talk.
oh no! Now you're stuck with me. The person who doesn't know what the hell she's doing for this goo nurse.
Slime nurse.
Goo nurse.
Slime nurse.
That's what I got for the hair.
You're just mad that I'm ahead of you.
What?
Oh, I see. She's wearing like low-hanging pigtails though.
Yeah, I know, and I'm not like I'm gonna add a line that's like right here.
I see what you're doing, Red.
I'm
And I'm judging you for it.
Why are you judging me for it?
I'm already ahead of you. Like, I want to abandon what I'm doing right now because the pink part of it looks crappy. But I am doing a dog, which surprise to everyone but me, I suck at drawing animals. I'm okay at people, maybe a little bit better than okay, but I suck at drawing animals. So I'm drawing a dog and shading a dog, and I don't like it. But I'm continuing with it anyway, just like Red did with her slime nurse the first time around, because, well, I'm more stubborn than she is, and I will not try to redraw this. Dish gets what dish gets. Anywho, and of course, everyone who enjoyed the first water air location loved the battle of the second water location. Oh, I remember mini boss for the first one, and maybe the boss for the first water location. I know the mini boss was this weird squid octo thing. A big one that did not give a single fuck. It just existed and then made your day very, very complicated for a little bit there. But I don't want to spend too much time talking about that beautiful game. I'm kidding. I'd like to spend more time talking about that beautiful game. Definitely enjoyed the fact that you had Epona. That was always nice. Being able to ride a horse when you get Epona was always nice. I would also, as an adult Link, creep up and go back to the ranch and listen to that one chick sing because you know you like that song too. You know you do.
I wouldn't know.
Oh well, they didn't actually like speak or anything, but it was a very nice song. if I wanted to make a fool of myself, which I slightly do, I would do the song for you. But it's basically just the song that you learn to call Eponia to you. But she just sings it at night, and it's just beautiful, especially as an adult. Just
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah. But I'm not sure how good my voice is right now. I'd have to test it out first before making a fool of myself, and just testing it out would make a fool of myself. So. Let me see what I can do. Let me see what I can do. Let me see what I can do. Maybe. Ooh, 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 ooh. That's about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would just be that, maybe a little bit more, and I fucked it up, but it'd just be that and looping. It sounded very beautiful and kind of mesmerizing at night. Just the echo of it all, you know, it was pretty fucking nice. I liked it. I think the only other fun thing, well, there was quite a few fun things when you were a kid. Not so much when you were an adult, because when you were in like adult or teenager Link, whichever you want to really refer to them as, you were more like you have to do this because the world is falling apart. Whereas a kid, you're like, hey, you want to sell masks?
You want masks, dude?
You want to sell masks? If you wear this bunny hood here, you run faster. Never could beat that motherfucker. There's supposedly a dude that you had to race and you had to beat him in the race, and you couldn't cheat by fast traveling because if you fast traveled, he'd already be there. It sucked. But you'd race him from one point, and you were supposed to race him with Eponia, and that never worked out for me because it just never worked out. Because you sell him this little bunny hood when you're a kid, and then he still like has it when you're an adult or something, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'll race you," and then something like that. I don't remember because I didn't succeed anywhere near where I needed to complete that, so I'm salty about it and kind of blocked it out of my mind. Not forever, obviously. I'm talking about it now. But eventually the fun must end, and you have to actually do shit, and you end up trying to, meet Zelda back at the castle and shit. That didn't work out. Probably not surprising because you're two small fucking 7-year-olds or whatever. Trying to save the world, and that never works out because no one believes 7-year-olds. No one believed. It's just sad. I think my favorite boss was Twinrova, I believe it was. I don't know. It's just after you get the mechanics, it's just kind of fun to battle against Twinrova. So Twinrova starts off as two old hags, one controlling fire and one controlling ice. And what you needed to do is you need to have the same element hit your shield like 3 times or something like that, and then it would reflect it backwards, and you needed to shine it at the opposite element sister. And it was a mess. But when you're trying to get, the concept the first time around. Like I said, after you get it, it's like really fun to battle these two. Like it's just really fun. I don't know how to say it other than that. I battled them multiple times because eventually you can unlock where you can just do the boss battles and try to defeat them for a better overall time of defeating them. And I would just use that opportunity to battle Twinrova again. But their second form, after you weaken them enough is they merge into a very young-looking, sexy woman who can control both the fire and ice, and she rotates which spell she's going to use. So you can't let the opposite spell hit your shield, and you have to vacate the spot so that when they use the opposite spell, you don't get hurt by it. And you're on a decent but not very good sized circular platform or something like that. Eventually you have to knock her down and then go up to her and beat her with your sword a few times, but
Yeah.
violence against women didn't matter back then. Plus, they were old hags who deserved it anyway. Their banter afterward was hilarious, though. I do like that. That was funny. Basically, they were like, "No, I'm too young to die. I'm only like 900 years old or something." And I'm like, "I'm only significantly younger than that." Like, you can't be significantly younger than me. You're my twin.
You're my twin, dude.
Yeah, they're like, "Shut up, old hag." He's like, "How dare you?"
How
Basically,
dare
they died and was just like upset about it. But yeah, I like Twinrova. I did not like the Phantom painting Ganon. I did not like him. I mean, he wasn't bad. Definitely good for the first boss. And the pose, the 4 pose, those are also difficult but nice. Mini bosses for the first one. My second favorite one was definitely the for the adult was definitely the fire one. Being able to smash the fire dragon with a fucking hammer was hilarious. Like I said, I can't say I'm a fan of the water one ever. Never. The Shadow Temple can go fuck itself. I mean, so the Shadow Temple, you needed the Lens of Truth or something like that. Yeah, the Lens of Truth to be able to see half the shit. Which that wasn't the problem. The problem was that you also needed these like shoes that help you hover, the hover boots.
Oh yeah.
And that's fine until you try to run and it just accidentally hovers you over the edge and you don't have enough time to get back onto the edge and you just fall into the abyss and die. Or when an enemy knocks you over the abyss and you don't have enough time to respond, so you fall off, like you hover there for a little bit and then die in the abyss.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just happened a lot for me because I'm slow, I guess. I mean, Bongo Bongo. I did like Bongo Bongo. Just not as much as Twinrova. I can't say I did.
Can't say I did.
And the surprising thing is that the other temples never really dabbled too much into the fact that you can go back and forth as a child and an adult. You kind of just met the people, the sages, when you were a kid, and they reappeared as an adult. But like the desert one with Twinrova had a big effect over it because the only reason why that sage got captured was because you showed up as a kid. Like you showed up and tried to help her and then she got captured. That's what happened. And that had a bigger effect, and I think that's why I like that more. It's a shame that they cut the light temple out because they were going to have a whole big thing with the last sage, and probably do a better grand reveal of who the last sage is, but no. They just had, oh yeah, by the way, I'm the Sage of Light, and here's a light medallion. Congratulations. That's all they did.
You won.
It sucked. Right? It sucked. Favorite thing is using I can't remember which one it was, which name it was, but using the green diamond of protection and going and attacking the chickens, the chocos or whatever they are. Attacking the chickens until they got pissed off, and then just running away and watching them feebly try to kill me. Fun. And if none of you have played the game and none of you have tried that, you need to. It's fun.
It's a definite
Um,
must.
It's a definite must. I also played Majora's Mask. Sadly, I'm gonna have to say, Ocarina of Time was more so my favorite than Majora's Mask, but I actually wasn't allowed to play Majora's Mask when I was younger. I was only able to play it as an adult when I bought it for myself. Before I really became friends with Red, or before I started having a relationship with Hitori, I bought it for myself. I needed my nostalgia, and was really interested in playing it, even though it also confused me. And their whole thing about death was actually very interesting, and I liked it. Now, whether or not Link is dead is kind of a depressing thing, but it doesn't fucking matter anymore. He showed up later, and it's already been very much confirmed that he'll never escape death. Never. I like the masks. Pretty amusing. It's nice when you're a little Deku guy
I don't
that
like it.
you aren't, huh?
Oh
my god, what did you do?
Just don't
You
look
gave
at
her
it.
lips?
I'm just trying to give
If
her
you-
like something.
Give her life in her eyes.
It's
It might make her a little less. Whatever.
No, I
I'm
want
going
her
back
to be
my
a nightmare.
story. Fine then, I'll just go back to my story. When you're a little Deku guy, it's nice that the fact that like you're considered a child and you can't leave the town. You know, that's pretty nice. You're like, no, little guy, you can't protect yourself out there. As you basically start like shooting your little bead pellets at him. Let me out.
Let me out.
You actually have to go and hang out with some of the kids around town before you can find a way out. And it's not even a permanent way out. It's just a temporary way out, and you have to go back in. Bullshit. The balancing mechanic for them is actually pretty good too, in my opinion. The fact that your little Deku guy can skip on water, but will ultimately drown if you don't make the skips to a safe place. That was pretty good, so that people can't just skip like rocks across the water indefinitely. And when you're Goron, the fact that you could just, if you accidentally land in too deep of water, you just drown, because Gorons are basically rocks. Also pretty good.
Yeah.
I do enjoy being a Zora and being able to swim. That's just the best. You master.
Sorry.
Just being able to master how you can actually swim, just golden. And like I said, the whole death theme, but also just the stories of most of these characters, if not all of them, are really well done. Like I still am kind of sad about the Deku butler. The butler for the king. His son like left, their little palace area, and ended up being changed into an actual tree by Skull Kid.
I gave her balls on accident. Race.
Man, is this a joke to you? I'm just kidding.
Is this a joke to you? Oop. Don't do that.
You do smaller drips when it comes to the chin, so it doesn't look like a ball sack. Okay. That's my art advice. If you're going to have dripping on the chin, make it small so it doesn't look like a ball sack. You're welcome.
Oh, thanks.
Not really art advice.
I needed that advice. I felt like I was failing. Thanks, Teach.
Yeah, look at my character's face. There's some drips, but it's not as big. Like the hair and the arms. Yeah. I kind of avoided that myself. But like the butler's son is just like in a place where you can't go back to. But near the end, I think the butler is the only character in there that you can't that can't find peace or anything, because he at the end of the game he finds his son and he just goes and cries, you know. He has to go mourn his son all alone because his son is just in an inaccessible place and there's nothing to be done about it.
So sad.
Now that just looks like the devil cross-dressing.
What?
I need to put my wig on, sorry.
Let me get my goo wig.
I like it runny. Anyway, what is it? And then we have the story of I can't remember their names, so you know.
Yeah.
Sue me. We had a story of two lovers that were supposed to be married, and they had to make a day, like a mask, like a day mask and a moon mask. And the Skull Kid came across one of them and turned one of them into a child. And he was too embarrassed, you know. I'm a child now, and I can't get married because I'm a fucking child now. Not only that, but this one dude fucking stole the mask I needed. And so that sucked. But eventually, you can't quite help him become an adult. But you can help him get his mask back so that he can go through with the wedding. Even though it's a little awkward, they still love each other, and I'm sure it's no morals are being questioned about what they're doing, because he's literally a fucking child who looks like Link's age. Not all love is sexual. Thank you for that. Mouse.
Oh god, that's terrible. Go back! Stop it!
And then there was the story of the band and the singer. The Zora band. Where the singer of the band had laid some eggs, and then like some pirates stole them.
Oh.
And so she just she stops being able to sing, and only when her kids hatch can she be able to talk. And you have to have enough bottles for this bullshit. And it gets a lot more useful if you have I believe it's another Return of the Lens of Truth, to be honest. You need the Lens of Truth, and if you can see this one dude who has this certain mask on, and you can trade him something, he'll give you this mask, and then like you're practically invisible to everyone. So you just walk around this pirate area, because if you get caught, you get kicked out.
Unless they don't kill you. Unless they don't kill you. Just throw you out.
Well, technically you're either a Zora and they don't want to kill you, because Zora eggs are like really, you know, rare and shit, so they want you to keep making babies. Or you're a kid, and what's the point of killing a kid? Really. You could try to be all the other creatures, but it's just gonna be like, why are you here?
Who are you?
Why are you running?
Insert me.
So that one's pretty good because the reason you get the Zora mask is because a guitarist of the band was trying to get the eggs back, and he got killed by the pirates, more or less. He washes up on the shore and explains everything, does an awesome little song, and then he just drops dead.
Beautiful.
Turns into a mask, and you're like, neat. Da 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 da. Well, you do have to play a certain song, Song of Healing, to get the mask. You get a mask, and then you can swim around, and people think you're him, and that's a little awkward. But you're in a band now. You're pretty cool.
You're a cool kid now.
But the most interesting and equally frustrating part of the Majora's Mask mechanic is that you only have 3 days to do anything. And what you have to do is you have to restart basically the whole game practically, but not really. Enable to get yourself more time so you can do more things. And that seems kind of concerning a little bit because you're trying to do as much as you can, obviously, so that you can beat the game. And it kind of, it's like a soft reset. You know, you still have your masks, more or less. You still have, sorry, I got distracted again. Yeah, definitely better when you switch the angles around. Not terrifying at all.
I like how she looks. Thank you. She's developing out to be a beautiful, beautiful lady. I love her nose. Good nose.
An interesting nose, definitely. It's a little fuzzy for me because I'm not right up at the screen.
Yeah.
But I can see it. It's beautiful. Interesting and beautiful. Like when you get an item, there's a slot for you to be able to have the item. Like let's say you get the bow and arrow, or get the bow, you have a slot where the bow is with the arrow count, but you can't access it until you get it again, kind of thing. It's pretty interesting, but you have also the potential to lose all the money you get. But oddly enough, they have a person who has a stamp that apparently transcends time, and so they have a little bank thing where you give them the money you want them to hold on to, and then you can do the little soft reset of going back to the first day, and you'll still have the amount of money you gave them. That won't be lost when you go back in time. Which is nice, because some of the stuff you need quite a bit of money for, especially if you want to just be lazy and kind of buy ammo or get your bombs. But it's a downer when you have to recollect certain items. So there's certain things you definitely want to wait until the end to do, like when you have everything and you actually want to battle Skull Kid, you'll probably want to get the gigantic blade or the fairy's blade. I don't know which one you're feeling like. And you want to get this really rare potion that makes you be able to use magic indefinitely, basically. Or you'll want to wait. You want to know how to get it, but you want to wait to use it, kind of thing. Because certain events only happen at certain times. Like, when you have your bow and arrow, and you are able to go to the farm and you help this little girl from alien invasion and abduction of her cows, which her sister doesn't believe, but it actually does happen, and that mission is a pain in the ass, because you lose if you let one alien touch the barn. And what happens is the little girl you're helping gets abducted as well, and then something happens to her, and she's very silent. She's not outgoing anymore, and um, she's kind of sad. Um, and then that happens on one day, like the night of the first day or something like that. And then on the second day or something, you make a milk run with her sister, but you can't do the milk run with her sister if you miss doing the alien thing the first day. You have to be dedicated to a specific string of events for each cycle you want to go through. So that was a good mechanic. Like, you actually have to plan things out accordingly. Which, that's demanding a lot for children, but I guess it worked fairly well.
Yeah.
I did play a little bit of Worms World Party. Not very much of it, though. Fun game, definitely. Funny names. Funny maps. Can you not move me like that? I know I can't move the laptop. What's another one? I ended up watching my oldest brother play Final Fantasy VII and a little bit of 8, but not as much as 7. So obviously very excited for the remake.
Yeah, the remake's
It
gonna
just-
be good.
It is good. It looks beautiful. I wonder how, certain scenes are going to play out, but it looks really great. Like I said, I didn't play a lot of games because I wasn't allowed to because my brothers were assholes. I could have sworn there was another one. Oh yeah, Star Fox 64. I played quite a bit of that. Can't say I liked the last boss. I don't think anyone was prepared for that when it first came out. No, I don't think anyone was. It was terrifying. I didn't like it. And then later on, I tried to play this other Star Fox game. I couldn't get into it. It wasn't like Star Fox 64. I got kind of pissed off at a certain point because it was like you have to collect so many of the like dinosaur or mammoth eggs or some weird shit like that. But 64, that was good. I can't tell if I liked flying around more or driving the tank. I did watch a lot of movies. The first time I ended up accidentally watching a part of Rocky Horror Picture Show was back when I was like 10 or so. So a lot of it went over my head. But I was still able to enjoy it later. Still, a lot of it went over my head. And then, as Red likes to rub in, Red watched The Grudge when she was younger than me, but I'm pretty sure we practically watched it around the exact same time. Because I was like 10 or so when I watched it, and you were 8.
Yeah.
So it'd be around the same time. But my whole thing was that I ended up watching. I would go and sneak into my mom's room and crawl in her bed to watch whatever movie she was watching. Sometimes she'd be awake or like nearly passed out. And it was mostly old kung fu movies, which I was okay with, I guess. Um, definitely like Drunken Master, but I can't find the version I actually want to watch.
The Jackie Chan one?
There's like an older one. Yeah, there's two of them. They like remade it, but like a while later. Um, but I wanted to watch the older one, and I ended up being stuck with the newer one. You can tell, like the older one, the quality's worse. There's Jackie's wearing some very funny hairstyles. It's great.
Oh, I know exactly
But
which
that was
one you're
what,
talking about.
right?
Yes, I recently watched it. I
Um,
love his stepmom in it. Best. Sorry.
wow. Um, but she'd watch movies like that, and I thought it was just going to be another one of those old, dated kung fu movies that I could fall asleep to with my mom. No, she popped in The Grudge,
She knew
and
this was the only way
she
to get rid of
literally,
you.
she literally fell asleep 5 minutes in. She fell asleep 5 minutes in, and I watched the entire thing. And I don't know if it was our DVD player or just how the disc was at the time, but it had like, after it was idle, like for like 10, 15 minutes or so, it would replay the entire movie. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
I think I
no.
passed out halfway through because I was just scared.
Yeah, no. That's disc features for you. They do that automatically.
Yeah, so that's it. What ended up happening to me, and I was pretty sheltered, so that was terrifying. Um, I remember watching Jet Li's The One.
Mm-hmm.
Hitori has not watched it. Have you watched it?
My grandparents owned it. I probably have. I just don't remember it exactly.
It's about the multiverse, and there was this one version of Jet Li's character that wanted to be the only one in the entirety of the multiverse. So he was systematically killing all the other versions of himself.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, ain't he fair?
yeah, I like the ending. It's kind of poetic because there was like a good and evil side, and so the good had a good ending, and the evil side technically also had a good ending. It was kind of just like an ending that was good more so for him with his whole I want to be the best, I want to be number one. It was a good ending. I liked that ending. Um, there was quite a bit of Mel Brooks movies. Um, do you know any of them? Red?
Please address some for me because remember, I don't know names for the life of me.
Robin Hood Men in Tights,
Yes!
Blazing Saddles, Young
Yes.
Frankenstein, History of the World Part 1. Those specifically I watched. I literally, as a child, was waiting for History of the World Part 2 to come out, and the joke was that it was never going to come out. I never understood that joke because I was like, why isn't it coming out yet? It's been years. Oh my goodness. And then Young Frankenstein was just cute. Blazing Saddles I didn't watch until much later, probably for the best. But it was Robin Hood Men in Tights. That was the one that drove most of my childhood. Just lend me your ear. That's disgusting. um, the horse bit gets me every time. I can't remember what her name was. It was this big lady, and she called out her horse, and she was going to drop from the balcony onto the horse. And the horse was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" And when she goes to drop,
Oh my gosh.
the horse backs up and she just lands on the ground and like indents it, breaks the stone walkway and everything. And
Yes.
she goes to the horse and is like, "Don't you ever do that again!" It's like, you're gonna break the horse's fucking back landing on him like that. Of course he's gonna move.
You knew.
You knew. The bit with them trying to get rid of, trying to figure out how to get rid of Robin Hood was good too. He's like, "I just went to the dentist," and he takes out these little cotton balls. It's too good. And the tie-in to Blazing Saddles, that was hilarious. It's like, a black sheriff? What? They did it to Blazing Saddles. It's so nice when you make something you can reference yourself. It's just beautiful.
I think I'm destroying her more and more.
Is there anyone on this live stream?
No.
Good. It's all good.
Just, I don't know, I'm being picky or something. I don't know.
You're being indecisive.
Yeah, that is true.
Oh, I also watched Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Good. Always good. Did you know that they had like a kid version?
Actually, no.
Yeah, there's the first two Ace Venturas, and then there's like like Ace Ventura Junior Detective or something.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah. I just never seen it. I remember seeing a cover of that.
Right. I think I talked to you about it before because I was like, "Can you believe this shit?" And you're like, "No, I didn't know that." Well, now you do.
Not more.
Yeah. And so, of course, enjoyed all those Saturday morning cartoons. Beautiful stuff.
Perfect.
How long have we been going for? How long have you been struggling?
Let's try. 20 minutes.
What?
It's been an hour and 22 minutes.
Because I'm about to say, it has not been only 20 minutes of doing this live. Don't you lie to me.
Yeah, I think
My
that's
throat
more of
hurts
a
talking so much.
I think that's a reasonable, better nose because her nose is not outtrude. It's more there.
It's supposed, yeah, it's supposed to be a subtle nose. That's why mine was pretty subtle. When you look at mine, it's just that mine was just a little line and then a little bit of shading over it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of there.
She looks creepy. Appreciate it.
I also watched Kung Fu Hustle. Kung Fu Hustle was good. And also Shaolin Soccer. Pretty good. Definitely comedy that's up my alley. I then started living with my father, and I wasn't able to watch as many things. The only reason why I was allowed to watch any of those things is because the person that was babysitting us while my mother was working didn't really know too much of what was kid appropriate because he didn't have any kids. Good family friend though. Just not the most aware of what was going on. But it was still one of those, I was still in the same grade as one of my brothers, my older brother, but I was never treated, you know, the same as him because I was still technically younger than him.
Yeah.
But as I said, if I'm at a certain if I'm at a certain grade, I should be considered mature enough that with what that goes with. I was in the same grade as my older brother, who was like kind of 2 years older than me, not quite, but I was considered to be on the same maturity as him for school, so why wasn't I considered the same maturity as him all around? Because the answer was, in some aspects, I was more mature than him. In other aspects, I wasn't. That wasn't a big deal, but they didn't have to overkill it. I wasn't allowed to watch Tropic Thunder where my brothers were, so I didn't get to see Robert Downey Jr. in his role. I would have found it fucking hilarious, but I was never able to see it. And then I have, times where my coworker will ask me if I've seen this or seen that, and I'm like, no, and he's like, how could you not? And I'm like, well, because I wasn't allowed to see it.
Well, now you
wasn't
are.
allowed. Now it's a question of whether or not I'd be interested in watching it.
I don't know. One time seeing one time thing doesn't hurt anybody.
Unless it's the Human Centipede.
Yeah, I watched that once. That's fine.
You're a liar.
Yeah, I watched it once, and I watched number 2 too. Number 2
You
is
saying fine is a lie.
Oh, fine. Yeah, no, it's. I gagged a few times.
Yeah. Because it's not okay.
It's not okay, folks.
What was that?
Motorcycle.
Ew, that's disgusting. Who would do that? Disgusting!
Disgusting.
I spent a good time of my time as a kid in high school, or not high school, with my mother trying to just sing a lot and get better at the French. What?
Kazi, real quick. We got 2 more followers.
Hello?
I'm so happy.
Okay.
Did you hear me?
All I heard was dude.
Dude, we got 2 more followers.
Like 2 people are watching right now, or what?
No, following the Twitch channel.
Huh?
Like, subscribe to the Twitch channel. Are we cutting out? Are we losing signal?
A little bit.
Mommy, no. Bring it back.
Oh, whatever.
I'm gonna fix her. That is not her chin color. That is not her skin color.
Chin color.
Ah, there we go.
But I enjoyed trying to learn how to sing and be a good singer. But as it turns out later, I was okay at singing, and my only problem was that I kind of couldn't sing in the sense of I more so copied other people's pitches and whatnot when I sang, and I couldn't very much sing just based on my own, ability very often, I guess. So if I was in choir, which I was in a choir freshman year, didn't like it. but I would be told to sing a certain part, and I'd try to, but I'd catch someone else's, part, especially when it came to singing "Hey Jude," because "Hey Jude" had three parts, the the soprano, the alto, and then the tenor. And I got put in tenor, so I was more of an alto, almost soprano singer, but I got put in the lowest part because why not? And so I had trouble singing that part. And so I would I'll just go to and you listen in and try to do a part, match it with someone else. And I always matched it with an alto instead of another tenor singing, because the other tenor was actually lip singing. She was not singing at all. She was just standing next to me and hoping I was loud enough to cover for both of us.
That's nice.
This is why I hated it. So my singing ability is okay, I guess, but it's not a genuine singing ability. So that's why I was like, when America's Got Talent or I don't know, any of those things were up, American Idol or anything, people are like, oh, maybe you should try to apply to that. I'm like, but I don't genuinely sing like that. I just could sing if I was standing next to someone and I copied them. Which, I mean, is an interesting skill in and of itself, to be able to match with people more or less. But I spent a good time in self-isolation and silence near the end of living with my father, where it made me very rusty. And so I wasn't as good at singing as I was when I practiced every day. And I'm trying to get back at that, which it's hit and miss, especially with where I'm living right now with the thin walls, whether or not the neighbors want to hear me sing or not. But I do remember trying to practice singing in the shower at one point, and my father cracked the door and was just like, hey, who sings that song? Because it's one of those bits where it's like, who sings that song? Oh, so-and-so sings that song. Well, they'll let them sing it.
Yeah.
But he had already burned me with that before, or burned my brother. I can't remember. And so when he went, who sings that song? I said, I do.
I'm
just
sassy.
I'm singing it right now, so F off. Allow me to, do this. The only other thing is, as strange as it was, is I'd like to do a little dance or pretend lip sync with what I was listening to, but I wouldn't be playing it out loud. It would just be through headphones. So I'd be dancing and pretending to sing in the living room, and my father would pop out and just give me a strange look, and I'm like, you don't want me to sing all the time. You already made that very clear. But when I try to do a silent thing where I'm still, getting in the groove and moving around and whatnot, you still want to freak out about it, basically. Not okay, not cool. I'm still gonna do it, whatever. And all the songs I had were songs my brother pirated from the internet. So okay, I didn't know it at the time.
Yeah.
All I knew is that I had an MP3 player and there was a bunch of songs on the computer.
I understand your innocence.
Oh, I'm still naive. I'm still gullible. It's just I've had a good healthy dose of reality, so I'm almost not as much.
Yeah.
But it's still there. I still think, certain things. Like when I first started working at my job that I'm at right now, I was like, oh, well, I guess I can't really have anything from our competitor, or if I try to get it, I have to be in disguise. And one of the managers was like, no, you don't. It doesn't matter if you want to go and have their food. I'm like, oh, Okay. Like, it was a childish notion, but I honestly thought I wouldn't be able to enjoy it because I worked for the competition.
Yeah.
Now it's just you can't sell any of the trade secrets or any information like that, which, that makes sense. And I could still go over and enjoy, lava cakes. Anyway,
Lava cakes, that's all I'm there for.
that's all I would order from there, Um, the lava cakes are good.
Yeah,
So
I'm
all
not
I care
disagreeing, they're not.
for. They're not. You're gonna buy me some lava cakes tomorrow, right? Or today, right? Later today, you're gonna order me some lava cakes.
You'll find out when you find out.
I literally have no money, and I literally can't buy any more food. It's all this extra stuff that are here that we have to go get me lava cakes. Um, joking aside, uh, I think I already told you, but my mother finally graciously blessed me with a toaster oven.
Oh.
So I can make small trays of cookies, not very big. Maybe I might be able to make like 4 cookies on it if I'm very lucky, and I'm okay with splitting them up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But then now I can cook the little trays that the pasta from work comes in. I'm happy about that. Now I'm thinking about food and I'm hungry. You remember that lemon meringue pie I made back at Job Corps?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one you helped me with?
Mm-hmm.
Because I did it the hard way?
Yep.
So, just for you people out there that don't quite know what lemon meringue is, lemon meringue is a very good pie, but the meringue part of the lemon meringue is egg whites and sugar beaten until they have what is called stiff peaks, which is basically until it's a very nice foam where the foam kind of just stays because you've whipped enough air into it. And so people with brains know that you could just take your egg whites and sugar and put it into the mixer and have it whip it. And so your meringue is done in like 5 minutes max, maybe 10 if you're stupid. But my dumbass decided that I could not use the mixer because the amount of egg whites and sugar and whatnot looked like it was too small of an amount for the mixer, so that the whisk wouldn't even reach it to make the stiff peaks. Is what I thought. So I started feeding it by hand, which took about 25 minutes and 2 people to do.
Yes.
By the way, it was an amazing lemon meringue afterwards. And there was a specific instructor that hardly ever says anything is perfect. And she said that my lemon meringue was perfectly made. Not a single thing, wrong with it. So I suppose putting all that effort in paid off. It was nice. And of course, Red and I went to this Job Corps, and I don't know if we both specifically went for culinary arts or we both just ended up in culinary arts, but we were in culinary arts. We were lunch ladies.
The bestest of lunch ladies.
Yeah, it was me, Red, Fussels, and with the addition of Timothy, and that is a story in and of itself, which I will get into. Poor Timothy. I don't know why Timothy had to die.
Timothy became many of forms, and he died in many forms.
I'll explain it in a second. Gosh.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
but we were enjoying culinary arts together. Um, Sometimes we were on the same shift, sometimes we weren't. Red ended up making a meat, what was it, a cheese stuffed meatloaf wrapped in bacon,
Yes. Everybody loved it.
which everyone loved it, but it also probably hurt a lot of people's stomachs.
Yes, I'm a Grease child.
Um, so the story of Timothy. At one point, I was very sleep deprived, and I was going to explain this with the first part, but it works with the second part too. There are there's 3 shifts for our specific job corps culinary arts. There was C1 shift, which was breakfast, C2 shift, which was dinner, and C4, which is not explosives, which it would be hilarious, but was more of the learn how to do things more technical. That's where I made the lemon meringue pie. And so C1 shift, you have to be like at work at like what, 4:30 in the morning?
Yep.
It was bullshit, by the way, guys. 4:30 in the morning, and you make breakfast, which doesn't start in like till like 6:30 or something like that.
Oh, preparations.
I think it's 5:36.
Well, 6:15 is when everybody got up, so.
Yeah, so from like 6:15, 6 o'clock or 6:15 or whatever, was breakfast, and then we immediately after a little like a 20-minute break after breakfast, serving everyone else breakfast. We had breakfast shortly before everyone else had breakfast. We immediately had to clean up certain parts, and then we'd have to start lunch. Which luckily for us, lunch was a very structured affair. We'd have burger day, we would have sandwich day, we'd have,
A day.
but there was always a soup with everything. We'd have wraps as well. It was well rounded, and predictable enough so that we knew each day was a specific thing, and after a while you get a little bored, but it was a lot better than having the same foods every single day. And so after lunch and you clean up, then you're off for the rest of the day. It was very nice.
Yeah.
Compared to C2, which you came on right before lunch for everyone else. You would have lunch with C1. And so then immediately after the C1 lunch, C2 would start working, and they would make dinner. Dinner was equally as structured as lunch. We had our Oriental cuisine. We had pizza night. We had those are kind of the only structured ones, really. We always had a pizza night, but everything else was like every other week it would start repeating. I just remember later that was kind of a headache for me because I needed to have tomato products, and you guys wouldn't make pizza, spaghetti, and stuff all the time. How dare you? And so you would work until after the dinner shift, which you would have dinner before everyone else had to have dinner. And then after the dinner shift, you were off. And then C4 shift, you were upstairs during the day, so it would start at around like I want to say anywhere from 7:30 to 8 because they kind of adjusted it a little bit that we had to come in earlier. But it started like 8 o'clock or so, and then you'd get out at about 3:30 or so.
Yep.
3:34. And like I said, it was where you would learn how to make pies and cakes and
other dishes, pretty much.
learn the techniques, how to poach eggs, how to cut certain cuts for, you know, well, it was mostly potatoes, but don't judge us. It's where you could practice your knife practical, which was a pain in the ass. The knife practical of quartering a chicken. I believe it was julienning so many ounces of potatoes or something like that.
Carrots, onions.
I don't remember the carrots. I remember the onions, and you had to make a sauce out of tomato, and you only had like 2 hours to make all these things.
Yeah.
And so I overcooked the chicken. I mixed up ounces with something else. I can't remember what it was. I mixed up something, and so I didn't make enough of the potatoes and onions and whatnot. I basically should have failed my knife practical, but I was passed. I was pity passed.
It's like my
because
test.
it was still good. Yes, it was still good. It just wasn't the way it was supposed to be. I also cheated and didn't have to make a cake. I just used the cake. I had it marked off with making cake with the cake mix. Haha.
Cheater.
Because we had to make all those cupcakes. You know?
Yeah.
I was just told to do it that way at the time. Then they got strict later. And that was all upstairs above the kitchen. And there was many different instructors. One which never actually did any cooking or helped with anything. She kind of just popped in and managed the actual staff more so than any cooking. But she knew her way around a kitchen. So she was qualified for her job, I guess. Nothing against her. And so what ended up happening was I had woken up for a C1 shift, this really early in the morning shift. And I woke up for a C1 shift, I was up and about and basically waiting to go over into the kitchen at 4 o'clock in the morning. So about 30 minutes before I was actually supposed to be up and heading over. That's just how I was. I didn't want to oversleep, so I just spent a lot of time being awake. I sometimes let myself catch a few more Z's on the couch out in the day room, but for the most part, I just kept myself awake. And I was so tired and like delirious and whatnot that I adopted an egg. And it was an egg that was slightly cracked, but I put the slightly cracked portion up so it wouldn't leak into my chef coat. And I decided I was going to be on the grill. So I'm making a bunch of eggs and stuff. One of the things that many of the people didn't want to make was fried eggs, and I was okay with making fried eggs. They mostly just made scrambled eggs. And so I went through the shift like la-di-da-di-da, I'm tired, but I'm getting my second wind, and I'm practically crazy on this grill making all these scrambled eggs while I'm also making fried eggs at the same time. Haha, motherfucker. Basically the same stuff. A normal Tuesday, but slightly more delirious. And at the end, I realized something very tragic. My egg, which I had named Timothy, had completely cracked and destroyed itself. I was saddened. But you can never keep a good man down. So what I ended up doing was I was starting to mop part of the dining hall area, and there was a giant bubble, and I admired it so beautifully that I named it Timothy.
God damn it.
And then this person who ended up becoming the trade chief, who also is named Timothy for obvious reasons that are about to appear, decided, no, you're not allowed to have Timothy. And he stomped on Timothy. And so I turned to him and I declared that he was now and forever Timothy. And his response was, why are you dooming me to death? Later on, I had a piece of celery named Timothy. It broke.
Everything that's named Timothy died.
I had a piggy bank named Timothy, and he made me break it so I could have the money that I put away in it. And there was, I believe, a tomato named Timothy. Can you imagine what happened to the tomato?
He got squished.
He got thrown away. My Timothys were never meant to be, and there's only one Timothy that's still alive. The one I cursed for murdering my little Timothy.
The bubble Timothy.
The bubble Timothy. May the bubble Timothy rest in peace always.
Yeah.
So there was some other people in the culinary arts scene, but one, they were lazy and had nasty personalities, and that's saying something, because, you know, I have a very laissez-faire kind of reaction to work conflict. In the sense of, if someone has a problem with me and they want to, act up one day, I'm just gonna bitch about it for that day, and then the next day I've already moved on, and I want to just get work done again. Same shit, different day kind of thing. Just kind of numbs you all out. But they always kept everything like really personal. Like I spoke up to them, and they never forgot it, and they thought that I hated them, but literally I couldn't muster up the ability to care any less than I did. I really just didn't. And so they were just kind of really lazy, and they wanted to do everything their way specifically. And one of those ways was that, let's say, for example, there is a specific way of making eggs. Eggs can burn really easily, and eggs can also, if you didn't know this already, eggs cook even after removed from heat. So you can overcook your egg after you take it off the heat.
They're
It's
just
still
like
gonna cook.
noodles.
They're just like noodles. And so we were instructed on how to make eggs a few times, actually. One of those ways being how to make yourself some scrambled eggs. And what you're supposed to do, and it kind of sounds gross, and it kind of looks gross for a while, but keep in mind, eggs cook after removed from heat. You're actually supposed to cook eggs up to the point where they look wet and still a little gooey, but not too gooey. And then you're supposed to remove them from heat and let them set so that they can finish cooking. And so one of these ladies, I can't really remember who specifically, because I kind of just stopped caring after a while, except for the fact that I needed to keep in my mind on how to actually properly cook eggs for customers. Because we were supposed to learn how to, be of food service. And so what you're not supposed to do is, if it starts turning brown, you have overcooked your egg. When you scramble it and it gets that golden color, you've overcooked your egg. But she didn't care. She liked her eggs that way, so she was going to make everyone have the eggs that way. That's not how that works, by the way. And the other thing is when you're in the food service industry, unless it's a specialty kind of order where they specifically tell you what they want, you are not supposed to put too much seasoning, or really any seasoning, on anything unless asked for or is just standard recipe. And so what this person would do is she would salt and pepper the egg, the entire batch of egg, would not like letting them individually do it themselves if they wanted to. Everyone had to suffer with how much salt and pepper she wanted to put in. And as I said, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Not at all.
A lot of
You
people
can't do
have
that.
different preferences. I'm gonna go with a white. Change the background. To a
Yeah.
darker color.
Yeah.
Rude.
So, let me see what else. I'm just hungry now. But
Yeah.
I didn't really have any grudge against any of the ladies there, except for the fact that they kind of didn't want to do anything. On an interesting note, when you live at a job corps, if you live on center, you don't have to pay rent, which is nice. You don't have to pay for like water, electricity, etc., etc. The list goes on. Not a lot of internet, not good internet accessibility. They restrict a lot. And you still get some spending money, but it's not very much. When I first got there, I don't know if they increased any of that. I'm still technically young enough to go back to Job Corps, by the way.
Let's see.
Would I? No. I got what I needed from there. And the only other one I'd go to if it was one near here where I'm at would be office administration, and that's boring. And I'm bad at numbers and reading. I'm okay with reading, just not boring papers. I was going somewhere with that, but I'm tired and hungry and I can't remember what I was doing.
Perfect.
Hi, now, you try to talk for like almost 2 hours.
I have. With caffeine.
I don't have caffeine.
Ah. I win.
Well, I don't like when people are too lazy.
You don't like when I'm lazy? Rude.
No, I said when people are too lazy.
Da, 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 da,
I mean, people can be lazy. People get lazy. Everyone is allowed to be a little lazy as long as it doesn't negatively affect other people. And I try not to. In fact, I try to be helpful, but sometimes I'm not good at it. Sometimes I fail, and it's okay to not be good at something. It's okay to try to get better at it as you go along. But these chicks just didn't want to do anything. Everyone else should have to have done everything for them so that they don't really have to do too much. And if you called them out and try to have them do something, that's when, they felt like you disrespected them and that, you have a big issue with them, even though you wouldn't really have one. They don't like being told what to do, but they're literally at a place where your life has to be so fucked up that you needed to come here, or you really thought naive like me, really thought you wanted to be at a place like that and get better for free. Which, if you go there for yourself, if you go there for a specific reason, you don't want to forget the reason you went there. Don't get too clouded with other things going on. Just concentrate on why you went there and concentrate on something that you feel will benefit you. Like, go enjoy what you like to enjoy. Join, like, the art room, join gaming club room, join a library if you want to be, you know, like a librarian eventually. Do all that for yourself and to get experience in being maybe a leader if you really wanted to, etc., etc. But you just should not
Should not, could not.
get distracted like I am right now. Don't get distracted and don't think you need something slightly different than what you originally went there for. Like a lot of the people go there because they got in trouble and this is like their
Court
last
ordered.
chance to do something. Yeah, court ordered or something like that, or maybe their living situation wasn't very good and they wanted to be away from their family and they really wanted, you know, something beneficial, some more structure than what they're used to, but not too much structure. Or you just went, I want to learn how to do something, but I don't have the money to go for an official education, like go literally to college. But go for one of those reasons, and then they'll be like, "Oh, I got a girlfriend slash boyfriend or something," or I'm so popular, blah blah blah. Now, whatever. And they get distracted. And then they do something stupid, like completely stupid, like what's one of the stupid things that happened there that got people kicked? I know there's the
Drugs,
Drugs.
marijuana, alcohol.
A drug. That's a drug. Basically, don't do drugs, kids.
Actually,
Don't make toilet wine. Don't try to hunt down the marijuana that might be on the mountain.
don't eat the shrooms that are in,
Don't-
you know, they're laying around because they're poisonous.
Sometimes people got in really like a lot of trouble from just stealing from CA. They like went downstairs while they were on KP, which I still don't know what KP means. I keep want to say it's kitchen patrol, but that makes no sense.
It was kitchen patrol.
I'm tired, okay?
I want to
was
say
right.
it's kitchen patrol, but I don't think that's right.
It is. Hey, boy.
It totally was.
Well, kitchen patrol, basically you did the dishes so that the culinary arts students could do their own shit. Like make food for you guys that were there. But sometimes they would go and KP would go downstairs where we stored the dry foods and whatnot, and they'd steal chips or something. It was mostly chips because all the good stuff was locked away. Some dumb people decided, you know what, cooking wine is practically, you know, alcohol. We're never allowed to have nice things. Not at Job Corps. And so you get in trouble for that. You get in trouble for stealing. You get in trouble for having sex on center, too. No hanky-panky on the hellscape. Did it stop people? No. I'm one of those people that it didn't stop. It never stopped. Isn't that right, you Cody?
What?
Never
He
stop.
knows what I'm talking about.
Never stop being me from having sex.
Yeah. Ours used to be you used to be able to go and do like hotel stays till people trashed the hotels.
Because they were
Oops.
got drunk and stuff.
mind you, like I said, there was people from the ages of 16 to 24, max 25. So, what ended up happening was that they'd invite like a 19-year-old or a 17-year-old or whatever it was over, to do the hotel stay over the weekend, and one of them would be 21 or 22, and then they'd do something stupid. And so they ruined it for everyone, of course. There was Weekend Pass, where if you lived nearby, they would take you and drop you off at a location, pick you up from that location, and over the weekend you could just hang out with your family or friends if you were someone local. Which also had the same effect, except you didn't trash a hotel room. You trashed your parents' place, or your friend's place.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yes. And that was Weekend Pass was nice, especially if you knew someone around there. But there was some things you had to do beforehand. You couldn't just go, I want to go on Weekend Pass, and then walk out, or be dropped off somewhere. You had to actually have confirmation that you could be there from one of the people that actually fucking live there. Like the parent or whatnot.
Parents don't exist. What are you talking about?
Huh?
What?
For the close by ones. If you were see, I had to have permission from Heath Odie's mother.
I had to get permission from.
What?
I had to get permission from Spanish Inquisition's grandparents.
Yeah.
I went over to his place.
Yeah, and then Heath Odie had to get Spanish Inquisition's grandparents' permission to go over to hang out over the weekend with Spanish Inquisition. If it wasn't your own house, you had to have permission by the residents there to be able to go hang out there.
I didn't have to get permission to go home.
What?
I didn't need permission to go home. I'd be all like, later bitches, I'm going home.
Yeah. Fat lot of luck that was. But if you didn't live anywhere near and you didn't make any friends anywhere near, you were SOL. So, haha, you fucking losers. And basically, it would be Friday evening to Sunday afternoon. That was the weekend, which does not sound like a lot of time, and it wasn't. But in the grand scheme of things, you were stuck living with people that you did not choose to live with. You didn't agree really to live with. You just were all like, you're living here, and here's all these people. Enjoy. And so sometimes having just that much time off, and if you were in an adequate color, because there was a color system, at adequate color, you'd be able to go out more often. I only ever got to red.
I got to purple and silver.
Bragger. But I got to red, so that means twice a month I'd be able to go on Weekend Pass.
When did you get to me?
We already talked about that.
I need to take a break for this art project.
That's fine.
I'm a sleepy baby.
Me too. Me too. Just a small break should be fine. I'm sure there's no one watching, so it's all good anyway. And if they are watching, we love you.
So, how do you think of my nurse so far, real quick?
I like her. She's in a very small window because I said I'd be editing and I've been talking, not even drawing, just talking this entire time. Oh yeah, that's good.
Oh, the chat wasn't up.
Not as cutesy as mine. Huh? Hello?
There was people in the chat saying follow back, which somebody wants to follow and they'll follow. And one's like, yo, and then the other one's, who are you talking to? Me. Or, yeah, I don't know.
Was that recently?
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Oh, we're fools. You need to pay attention to the chat, because I'm not. I'm staring up at the ceiling, remembering stuff. Well, now that that's read, let's put in some clarification. I'm Koneko. I am talking to Red, reminiscing about stuff, but also explaining to whoever wants to pop in various things and just talking about stories because that's all I ever talk about. I mean, you can ask Red. Red, what do I do most of the time if I am not talking about, morally ambiguous stuff, totally not horror related? Don't scream in my ear, Red.
I'm sorry. Penis drawings. I'm joking.
That's not what I often talk about. I only do that occasionally for you.
Just occasionally. No, art editing for me because that's what I hired her for, and helping me get through the day. I'm an old lady. I need help.
And stories.
And stories, and she works a second job. She stays busy. And animation. Also animations. Your channel.
No, Tommy.
Oh no, Red, don't do it. Don't do it, Red.
Don't promote me.
I promote you because you promote me. Can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Okay. I had to switch positions. Now I'm kneeling on my rolly chair while my art pad is slightly down. I had to shift.
I shift often. But yeah, I'm Koneko. I'm full of just stories, to be honest. I just remember a lot of stuff, and a lot of strange things have happened to me, and I like talking, I like reminiscing, I like bitching, so I just figured that while Red doesn't want to do too much of the talky talk, I just vomit up stories.
I like talking once in a blue moon. Damn it, I thought I could pop up.
Well, just lately you've been having some problems.
Oh, fine right now.
Okay, you want me to open the chat?
Yeah,
I'll open the chat.
Cause it's on my phone, and I can't place my phone anywhere to actually like view it when I need to. It'll sit on my keyboard. That's the best I got. And I just have to glance over at it. I need to figure out how to get my screen displays to work together and not against each other, so I can actually look at a chat too instead of using my dying phone. Damn it! Stop dying. I know you're just here for my chat, so I can see people.
It's a short, goofy Red.
Where are you at, child?
About Redison.
Why are you about Redison? Short, goofy child, yeah. That was
Welcome to the chat. Users in the chat. Who's in the chat? Users is another viewer. Da 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 da.
Yeah, there's.
Oh, someone's.
The random person?
No, it's the Hitori.
Okay, I was like, what?
Hitori was like, hey, let me in. This won't go bad for you.
It's cold outside.
It's cold outside. Let me in, woman. How am I supposed to see the chat?
Damn it, I don't know.
It says there's 2 people looking, so it's probably me and you.
Do you
And
see
when I
it
went-
visually?
I just see like a little thing next to the timer saying people 2. And then when it says user in chat, it says users in chat, and then it has 4 users in chat. But instead of actually showing anything,
So there is a rando then, because visually not in the live stream.
because I'm not logged in, I'm just existing.
Why I'm saying that? Is that is if you actually, because you're supposed to be able to see the chat. Are you on your phone or a laptop about it?
Laptop.
Yep. Second. Inksty red. Oh, I forgot I looked up pinup girls.
I am happy, guys. Have you ever known anyone that's happier than me? No, I'm happy, guys. Have you known anyone happier than me? No! Resident can't log in.
I can log in. How do you know this? Can you see my screen?
Because I can, but they can't.
Oh yeah, because of the screen sharing with you. I keep forgetting that I'm doing that.
Oh my god, how am I here, right? So Red's password is 99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99 bottles of beer. You take one down, you pass it around, 98 bottles of beer on the wall. You got that, guys?
It'd be bad if I just typed that all out.
It is practically unbreakable. Especially if you, like, every, like, month or so you change your password to a different number. No? Okay.
Thought I heard noise.
Wall. Have you ever looked at someone and went, I'd love to break your neck? Sometimes I feel that way.
I don't want to save it. So you are where?
Dunno?
You should have this
I
screen
don't know.
if you're on.
Where am I? Yes, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, and chat should be on the side right here.
Yes, I see chat. It says, welcome to the chat room, welcome to the chat room.
Yeah, and you should see this screen that's live right now.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, there's 4
I just
people.
don't...
Yeah.
What?
Oh, there's four viewers. 2 of them are me and you. Oh yeah, I was trying to plug in my phone. So I can see people.
Well, I don't see where the chat is. If there's someone that isn't Reticent and me in the chat, please let us know. And if you want us to talk about something, anything really, we don't mind just no, Reticent, I said no.
You see the chat. What are you talking
It dropped
about?
down. You chased them away.
I did. Sorry. Oh, that'd be a good
Well-
place to put that. I'm fired. So skinny. Sorry. I'm supposed to be rude to my.
I'm supposed to be rude to me. You're not allowed. Um, what? Oh, look at those little eyes.
Nobody
Hmm.
does. I had lips on her, but I don't know what happened to.
I don't either. Well, I don't know what exactly they thought we'd be chatting about. What are we supposed to be chatting about?
Random shenanigans. How about
Mm-hmm.
look up our favorite cryptics? Go.
So Slender Man.
So Slenderman, he technically is
He's
a
not a-
cryptic. Kind of.
Not really. He's a creepy pasta.
But he can be a cryptic.
He is the creepy pasta that was shoehorned into being a cryptic.
I have an idea.
This is no good. Oh, look at the time. It's time to die. Dabby death.
There you go. She's wearing a mask.
Beautiful. Did you give her an ear? Well, we all can't be perfect, right? Sorry.
I'm just doing.
Mom,
Oh, okay.
if you all like severe dysphoria like I do, follow me on Twitch.
Follow you on Twitch. How?
I don't have a Twitch yet. Let me get a Twitch up. Let me sign into a Twitch. Well, before the username gets freaking stolen, yeah.
Yeah, probably best bet.
Oh my god.
I don't think I'm going to I don't know what. Having a gun pointed at me.
I'm nowhere near her. Don't listen to these lies. I never do anything like that. Red, on the other hand, she is practically evil. Have you seen a redhead in real life? They're terrifying.
Yeah, I'm terrifying.
They know your weaknesses. They just pretend that they don't. And if they really wanted to, they could have your intestines wrapped around their neck in seconds. You go, watch yourself. Reds, they're dangerous.
Reds.
This one, she's really dangerous. Please, why did you do that? Why did you open up a new tab?
Because the laptop hates you.
Probably. Please enter a valid year. You don't know me. That might be a valid year. Let's see. My email address goes here. Oh. That looks like a valid one right there, and then you throw that right there, and then you go and do that symbol right there. Then it didn't register for some odd reason, so you have to do it again, and then you do it again, and then you do it. You'd use the wrong account real quick, then you do it again. We'll need to verify that you own this account. Damn right you do. Don't disappoint me. I'll be waiting.
Yeah.
I'm very tired. Verify your email address. Is it Cannibalization 99? Hi ho, that's how I know you are perfect for what I want to do. What would that be? Murder. Reload, baby. Connecting to chat. Welcome to the chat room. Welcome to our Redison. Welcome to Red not doing anything. I'll follow Red.
Not doing anything? Are you sure about
Yeah, I'm just looking at nothing.
perfect?
Follow me back. How do you become friends?
I don't know.
Search. What am I interested in? Just chatting? Fortnite? Yeah, they know me so well already.
Chatting? Fortnite? Oh. Tell me you're right
Do you
on
like
the
music? Do you like music? Do you like food and air? There's food and drink. I'm sorry, I was so close. Do I like art? Do I like Gabriel Iglesias playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare? It's not him, by the way.
Sad face.
Do I like games? I don't know, do I? Do you guys even have anything I'm interested in?
Art.
Don't lie to me, Red.
They have art. I'm subscribed.
I know.
I'm following somebody who does art.
Is it the game The Witcher?
Or is it The Witcher?
Shh, is it The Witcher? Doesn't look like The Witcher. Do you like chess? No. The Seven Deadly Sins? Yes. I'll take that one. That anime is pretty good. I just haven't caught up all the way with it. Skyrim. Yeah, I like Skyrim. The Witcher, another no. I found a Halo Master Chief Collection. It's not Halo 2, so I'm passing that one up. Mario Kart Infinity. Dark Souls. I already talked about my Dark Souls thing. Resident Evil 3? Specifically 3. Maybe.
Specifically.
I don't know what that's implying, and I'm going to move right on from that. White Day. I wonder if I like White Day.
I want.
So, like I said way earlier in the stream, I'm not very big on games, but I like games. Don't Starve Together? I like some Don't Starve Together. That's funny shit.
Dark together? Sorry, don't be mad at me.
Have I ever gone over to your house and shit on your pillows?
No.
I hope you're ready.
No. What are you doing, Senpai?
Because you begged, I might not do it. But I still might.
It's still late. I know why? Because I'm a poopy head.
The Grudge Noise, thank you. Mario Kart Wii, badass. Pokemon trading card game? No. I didn't know how to play to begin with. Assassin's Creed 3? Mayhaps. No oxygen not included, damn right.
Worse.
I'm pretty sure it's removing stuff as I go along. Channels for you, Cryotic. Damn right.
Of course you want some cryotic.
Well, it says choose 3 or more categories or channels being streamed right now, and it only lets me do 5. Whatever.
Oh, yeah.
The broadcaster has indicated this channel is intended for mature audiences. Cryotic, you stole me from Red's channel. How could you?
Damn it, Cryotic! How could you do this to me?
I am offline.
Perfect. Did you want to be online?
No.
So-
I was still trying to figure out if
if I'm a real
if I was
channel
supposed
or
to
not?
be if I was supposed to be able to Twitch stream with you or not.
You probably can. There is a duo thing that allows you to do that.
I asked that and you were like, no.
No. I'm just a blonde and I didn't remember.
You're just a punk. It's not even being a blonde anymore. You're just a straight up punk half the time.
Yes, I am.
Your S's are awfully sharp.
Asses?
Yeah, when you speak, your S's are pretty sharp.
Yeah. I pronounce.
Don't test me though.
Sis.
No, it hurts my ears.
I know what I'm doing. I think maybe hating me right now. Nope.
Successfully, so I don't have to resave everything on this page, right?
No.
And I upload my profile picture. You'll be able to find me now.
Okay. Now follow you.
Why did the window drop down?
I don't.
Love and marriage, love and marriage, go together like a horse and carriage. Re, 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 re. Re, 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 re. We don't know much about them, but we're sure Hitsuko Neko is great. I hate you.
What?
Like if you don't put anything in your bio, it goes, we don't know much about them, but we're sure that this user is great.
Because they're the best.
What are whispers? Messages, I guess.
Yes, they're messages that no one else can see but you and that and the channel owner. Or to every specific person you're trying to get in the chat.
Definitely dark theme in this sub though. Am I able to change the purple?
Yes.
Great, because I wanted a mind-numbing blue.
Oh. I think I'm happy with the lips now. I just need to fix the mouth.
I like to think that I'm smart. Or at least decently able to think about certain things.
I am smart to a certain degree. When it comes to English, count me out. Math, I'm not there.
I think we're supposed to be smart enough to attract nice guys. Somehow.
The truth
what a burden.
comes out.
Yeah, I seem to get nice guys, and I got a problem because for some odd reason, I specifically seem to attract men of basically men of Indian origin, men from India. They're very interested in me, and I'm very interested in me. Furthermore, to the next point, they keep trying to engage in rather inappropriate conversations with me. The last time I was on Reddit because I'm needy. And I just wanted to chat, and I was like, I want a friendly chat, nothing too much, okay? Nothing inappropriate. And they're like, would you like to watch me masturbate? And I'm like, no. That's the exact opposite of what I said I would like.
Right.
And so, and that, or nice guys, which are people that, like, guys that want to listen, listen in and listen to my stuff and shit. But once again, I made very clear I'm not particularly interested in any of that. But as Red knows, I was talking with this person, and like in the middle of the night, they just started like messaging me, which I was appearing online on, Discord, so not their fault for wanting to message me in the middle of the night during this situation that we, the Earth, seem to find ourselves in. But he was saying he was bored, and I'm like, okay. Or no, he said he was tired. I'm like, okay. Well, it's late, tiring time. Like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning is late. And so I was like, yeah, and something else. And I knew immediately that I was not going to like this conversation any further from that point. But I wanted to give benefit of the doubt and not assume that this dude was going to talk about his penis at any point. I'm disappointed. And so he's like, yeah, I'm playing with, and I'm like, I feel regret. So I'm like, what? And he's like, muddy. I'm like, yeah, I've left this chat. I'm like, of course. Like, what is that supposed to mean? I'm like, it means, of course. It means I said I didn't want to talk about this, and you, of course, went ahead and went, I'm going to talk about it anyway. And then, he's like, do you want to see? I'm like, no. I let you know I was not interested in this. So why would you just kind of just go, yeah, man, I got it. She's interested. And so it's like not
I'm
even
kind
a
of lost.
You're kind of lost. What?
Someone typed in, I'm kind of lost.
As in you found your way over here? Because that's rather unfortunate. If it's in the story, I'm very tired and I don't know where I'm even going with this. But basically, this dude just started.
Can
was
we talk
messaging
about
me.
my penis now?
Can we talk about the penis too? No, I don't want to talk about the penis now.
Penis. He didn't say penis. He said penis.
No. Yeah, I know. I don't know what you meant. But I was like, no, I'm not interested in that. I don't want to see it. I don't want a tease, a little look-see. And he's like, well, I thought you wanted that. And I'm like, what part of me I want someone just to talk to, nothing inappropriate, meant I want to see your penis.
Obviously, that meant everything to see penises.
The entire thing, because when he was like, I have a flirty personality, I went, that's fine, I guess. I'll just ignore the fact that you're trying to flirt with me because I'm not interested in that. My entire computer is freaking out. I can't edit. I can't open up the internet anymore. I'm being hacked.
Yeah, Badoogles. That,
And
that's
so then I just didn't want to talk to this person for quite a while. Made him awkward. I wasn't interested. And so he doesn't talk to me until like months, like a few, like I guess a month, maybe a month and a half later, just recently, and said it was like didn't even say hi. It just like was like a line, and I'm like, hello, and he's like, hey, so how you doing? I'm like, I'm fine, but I'm kind of working right now, working with Red, recording some
Hello.
stuff specifically, and he was like, oh, well, I'm bored, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, and
Cute.
something else. I'm like, not again.
Man, same pickup line. Nice guy.
Ah.
You're doing fantastic, I swear. Just get all the panties to drop, don't you?
Yeah, all the panties to drop. Yeah, no, as I said in one of the videos, usually when you flash a woman, they don't like it. Get all the panties to drop. And you get back to your stream so I can look at the chat.
Yeah. Yeah, you should
Yeah.
look at the chat so you can see the word Venus.
Venus. Is it that weird bee?
Yes, it's a Venus.
Yeah, Venus. But yeah, there's that. There was Nev. Lajeunesse was kind of a nice guy, but also kind of an asshole. Really, really fine line kind of stuff. Oh.
What?
Oh.
Oh.
You're gonna murder me?
Not you. I was talking about.
Here, I thought it was my lucky day.
Not quite. You're gonna suffer through hell with me as long as there's a hell.
Is there hell?
Hypothetically, yes.
Oh my god, everything does not want to work with me right now. The internet's pretending to crash.
Just like, I'm not here
Nothing
today.
is responding.
Good day.
Yeah. Nothing. Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
And it's still not responding.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I remember a good portion of my childhood was down in Homestead, Florida, which is kind of like a little, well, it was a little town relatively close to Miami. I think it's south of Miami. It's a little further south. And at the time, it was very cute little place, very nice little place. And I lived in this place. I can't quite remember what it was. I just, as a child, you just don't remember things as well. And so I remember I had to sneak through a fence just so I could go over to the bus stop, which is weird. But other than that, there was like bushes everywhere, and it was really nice. And they had a swimming pool, which I wasn't allowed to swim in by myself because the thought that I would drown. But in all honesty, I was a really good swimmer, and I still swam by myself and was yelled at for quite a long time for swimming by myself when I could possibly drown. But self-preservation as a kid is very low on what I wanted to do. And I just remember doing a lot of chasing the snails, little snail trails, little slime trails, collecting snails, playing with slugs. And my mother was friends with this lady who had three boys. There was two twin boys, which are the younger two, and then an older boy about my age. And all their names started with B, which was hilarious for me. So my brothers and I called them the 3B brothers. I don't remember the last name, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say their first name because they're pretty standard names. Their names were Brian, Bryce, and Brandon. I can still remember it, and I haven't seen them since I was like 7 if I'm lucky, and I don't remember shit.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I just remember hanging out with them, and then I was like running outside in one of these rainstorms that we had because Florida is rainy, and I got a cold, and I was stuck at their place,
Oh no.
just all sicky, all like, "Mom, help me, I'm sick." Bizarre. Um, the only other thing I really remember is basically streaking over to one of my neighbors slash friend's house when I was like 6.
Perfect.
Like literally streaking.
I've only went
Small.
skinny dipping before, never streaking.
Well, it was in the middle of the night, so it was all fine.
It was alright. It's in the nighttime. No one's in the nude during the
How come I
night.
can't? How come I can't see previous chat posts?
If you're just new to the chat, then no, you don't get to see them.
Damn. I hate it. Well, I am on count now, so whatever.
Oh no, I fucked up again.
There was 2 things I really loved about Florida. One of them was that they had a beautiful thing where it was you could be in the sunshine and it would still rain. So like you can see a rainbow and it's raining and it's also partly part of the sky is cloudy and it was just beautiful. Whereas the other thing I liked was that the rain came quickly, very quickly.
I botched crust.
Whoa, all I saw was it rotating. Well, I remember my brothers were apparently racing from a friend named Jack's house. And they were just running and running and running as fast and as best as they could. And they were racing against just the rain itself. And they did not beat the rain.
BRB.
What? Okay. I'm scared now. I'm all alone. Well, they couldn't beat the rain and they ended up being, a bit wet. And they were really bummed out because how could the rain be so fast? Which, logic dictates. Rain is significantly faster than 2 small boys. But you gotta remember, kid logic dictates that doesn't matter. I tried my hardest. I should have succeeded. I know that that's not exclusive to just Florida itself, but it happens a lot in Florida, so it was nice. Other fun times, hanging out at the eye of a hurricane. If you haven't done that, then you probably shouldn't attempt it because depending on the hurricane, it's not a good idea. But as the eye of the storm is, it's calm. It's really actually pretty cool when you think about it. When you're in a storm, just barely any rain, not very much wind, and everything's just calm. Even though like just a few minutes ago it was like rainy and quite scary, kind of, because you want to go play out in the rain and your parents say no you can't, It's dangerous outside. You gotta stay in. Bummers. Oh, and my mother had a problem. I feel it's a problem that should have had an intervention. Uh, she kept getting hamsters, and I was a dumb and rather cruel kid, I suppose. And I would always have this first hamster we had. We named it Hamtaro, which, if you get that reference, I don't think you're too special. I'm just kidding. It was a pretty cool thing. We were into Hamtaro when we were younger, and so we had our first hamster named Hamtaro, and I accidentally killed it.
Yes, I came in at a good time.
I would play a game. I'd be like, "Hey, adorable little hamster, I want to play a game." And what ended up happening was I would pick up the hamster and drop it on a hard table, and sadly, it after a while it just couldn't handle the impact anymore, and it died. And I felt really bad, which was a good thing because when you accidentally do that, and you accidentally kill something, at the very least, you should feel bad for doing it. If you don't feel bad for doing it, then there's something wrong with you. So, yeah, I felt bad. I drew it a cute little picture to put on its grave, and some snails started eating the picture, so that made me sad again. But beyond that, I treated the hamsters pretty well. And then we had Little Hammy, which we got really lazy with the names. So we had Little Hammy. It was a black and white hamster. Cute thing. And I suppose we got known for having a hamster, and so someone found a hamster and was like, "Hey, did you lose a hamster? Here's a hamster." And it was a kind of a gold and white hamster, or at least like a tan and white hamster or something, and it was like 3 times as big as Little Hammy, and so we named that hamster Big Hammy. Are you loving the names yet?
Perfect.
So my first experience of why you don't put 2 hamsters of the same gender together was Little Hammy and Big Hammy. They started fighting immediately, and when hamsters fight, it's adorable and slightly concerning, but mostly adorable. In the sense of you have a little fur ball rolling around, but you know they're fighting, but it's also a little fur ball rolling around of 2 different colors. It's cute.
Yeah. Battle Royale,
Yeah.
I see that you were into as a kid.
We didn't do that on purpose.
Just kidding.
We only had 1 tank for the hamster. That's what the problem was. And so we didn't have another place for the other hamster to be, and the other hamster was like really strong. Like it kept pushing up on the lid of the box that it was dropped off with. So like we had to put pressure on the lid so the hamster wouldn't get out, but we couldn't put too much pressure on the lid because the hamster could get crushed. That was the situation we were in. And you couldn't have us kids babysit it because we were incompetent children who didn't have the attention span to wait around until mom was done with whatever she was doing. You know, we wanted to do our own things.
Yeah.
Whatever. So, after a while, Big Hammy and Little Hammy started chilling out a little bit. They didn't fight as often, but then occasionally they did start bickering and fighting and roll into a ball, and we'd laugh. Okay, I wasn't a very good kid, okay?
It's okay. We all grow up messed up someplace.
some things. But as you know, you don't let hamsters just walk around willy-nilly freely. Bad idea. They're fast little guys, and they're hard to catch when they don't want you to catch them. So you put hamsters in hamster balls, adequately named. But it's also a very important thing to remember. One crucial thing: a hamster ball is not a soccer ball. So one of my brothers kicked the hamster ball, thinking it was empty, but there was a hamster inside. That was one unhappy hamster, also dizzy and slightly sick. Poor hamster. I think that was a Big Hammy. So, Little Hammy, I don't know how Little Hammy died. I mean, my mother took really good care of these hamsters, but us kids, not so much. So what ended up happening was Little Hammy had something green in between. It's like stuck in its teeth, and we were all like, "That's pretty weird." But it wasn't food because nothing we fed Little Hammy was like actually green. And we mentioned it to my mother, and I don't know what she said about it. But when Little Hammy died, the thing that was in his mouth that was green turned black.
That sounds like it.
Yeah. So then we had just Big Hammy. And so Big Hammy actually lived for like, I don't know, 6 years maybe? Maybe that's a little too much for a hamster. I don't know. Things blur together quite a bit. Just Big Hammy lived a very fruitful life because we don't know how old Big Hammy was when we got him, and he lasted for a handful of years. It was a good, healthy amount of years.
This is terrible hand. Where is it? Rid of it.
Your hands are something you definitely need to work on, but hands are something that not everyone can do. Either you can draw hands immediately, or you can't draw hands, and you have to learn how to do it and suffer through it as much as you can. Anyway, but Big Hammy ended up passing away after a move of ours, and that was sad. And then we got Emma and Baby Hammy. Yet no, we were not good at naming fucking hamsters. You should have seen how we named cats. Anyway, so we had Emma, which was the only female hamster, and then Baby Hammy. Don't know how it happened to them, to be honest. I don't know if they died. I don't know if they were given away. I can't remember. And I'm sure my mother had told me what happened to them, but I zone out with my mother's story as much as everyone just like kind of tones out my stories after a while. So I don't remember. But the only thing my mother had a worse habit of getting would be probably cats and dogs. I had a cat. She was my cat. I lied to the people who were giving me this cat so I could get this cat. It was mine. And it was a little kitten when I got her. She was mostly white with a little bit of I want to say black on like her ears and whatnot. And they tried to say, they're like, oh, this kitten's name is Snowbell. And I couldn't remember that word shit. So I was just like, oh, this kitty's name is, fuck. So, we referred to Snowbell as Kitty because we couldn't remember her name. And when we did remember her name, she wouldn't respond to Kitty. So, helpful, really. She went from being white with a little bit of black to white being with a little bit more black and tan, so the snow part didn't really stick anyway. She loved to play in water, but hated baths. But she also had like a bunch of fleas on her, so there was nothing we could do. We had to bathe her to get the fleas off. But she also really liked escaping and going outside, which I can't remember if we ever got her spayed or not. I don't think we did. Not really. But she'd go outside, and then one time she went outside, and I don't know what happened, but she came back, and she got a hole in the back of her freaking like neck. And I'm talking I was a kid, so maybe my size is a little off, but a good quarter size hole in her back, the back of her neck. And it soon got infected, but we were trying to disinfect it as best as we could. It was a little difficult, but see, we really cared about this flea-ridden cat with worms. Oh, by the way, she had worms. She had issues, okay? A lot of issues. But she wasn't a bad cat. And so we were trying to disinfect this hole in the back of her neck. And my oldest brother was like, ugh, the smell of this peroxide and the smell of the infection that's happening with this cat is disgusting. But I have a remedy for this situation. My brother's like, it's sure to work, it's sure to make the smell so much better. It totally won't at all make it worse. So my brother ended up spraying some of his Axe body spray onto the cat's neck.
Gosh.
Which, as it turns out, Axe plus hydrogen peroxide plus infection smells like hell on earth. Completely disgusting. Awful. Just no good smell. And it made the infection slightly worse. I don't know what they thought, but what he thought it would do, but it made it worse. Like, awful. No matter how many times I say it, it won't be able to really understand how awful it was, because it was that awful. And she started spraying. So I think she wasn't spayed because she was spraying around and she'd go into heat. Obviously was not spayed, sorry. Details are coming back to me a little late. Was a cruel small child, but I loved this cat. I loved her so much I picked her up and spun her around so that she would cling to me and I could pet her so she wouldn't run away. I loved this cat. She was the first cat that I had met that actually was very vocal. The first time it was my turn to, feed her, fill up her mostly empty food dish. And so I'm like, just like I was with Winchester, I was just like, yeah, you want some food? Huh? You want some food? Okay, say meow mix and I'll give you some food. And they went, meow, meow. And I'm like,
Close enough.
my cat can talk.
Doing good.
And so I fed her. And then I always bragged about how I had a talking cat. Which is so good. And no matter what, there's two types of, I guess, cats, specifically. It might be pets in general, but two types of cats. There are cats that get attached to a place, and there's a cat that gets attached to people. And my cat, Kitty, also technically known as Snowbell, she was attached to people. And specifically, she was attached to me. She always wanted to, be in the room with me, which she ended up getting locked in my closet accidentally a few times and peeing on everything, so that wasn't nice. I trashed everything, and then when my mother would be like, you need to clean up, I just pushed everything into my closet and under my bed, so that wasn't good either. But whenever she would get out, she'd be back in the morning, and she would just cuddle up with me, and I very much loved her. She gave me affection when I needed it, as cats do. And gave me a good crash course in boundaries, which I would go over and she'd scratch the crap out of me. But overall, a very affectionate creature that did not like flea baths, and I was always the one giving her flea baths. At the very least, I was always in the shower. It was my mother's shower because it was one of those door closes showers. Not quite one you could lock, but one of the sliding door ones that the cat couldn't get out of. And so we'd give her a salt bath. That's how we did our flea baths. It was just a simple little salt and water and salt water. Pour salt on the cat, which she did not like. But it would make the fleas start moving. They'd detach from her and move away. And stop drinking her blood and stuff. And they'd go towards the eyes. So it made it really easy to find them and pluck them out. And then when I'd pluck one, I'd put them into the salt water that is also in the shower. And I swear I plucked at least 200 to 300 of those buggers every time we gave her a bath. But then someone would be stupid enough to open the shower door and she'd zoom out and she'd hide behind the toilet. And someone had to go get a wet cat and take her back to the shower so I could finish plucking fleas out of her face. But eventually my mom got rid of her. She said that the place we were going to, we couldn't have cats, but there was strays around, so I don't know. Maybe she just didn't have the money for a pet deposit. Maybe they really didn't accept cats. But my mom was tired of Snowbell marking everything. And so I was very happy when we finally got a cat with my father. But it came after we got a dog, which, that dog. I don't like dogs because I had a very bad experience with a dog with my mother. The dog wasn't a horrible dog, but it was a male dog. And this male dog that I was already terrified of because the dog was as big as fucking me. At the time, I was terrified. And I don't know, I'd end up like cowering away from it or being knocked down or something, and then it would be like over me. And you know how dog penises are, right?
Yeah, red rockets.
Yeah, they're fucking terrifying. So it would red rocket out above me, and I'm just like, I'm scared.
I'm scared. Put it away.
And my brothers would laugh, and then my mom would come and check what's going on, and then see me under this dog while it's red rocketing. and my brother's just being assholes. And then, she'd save me. So that's why I don't like dogs. It was a very uncomfortable situation, and I just don't like dogs. I don't think there's anything like too wrong with dogs, but I just don't like them, especially male dogs. I just don't like them. Not to say I did anything horrible to the dog that my father got. No, I actually ended up training the dog mostly. Her name was Sage. She was, we don't know what she was really. She had brown fur like a chocolate lab, but a really curly tail like a husky. And she was long haired like, I don't know, she was just a long haired, curly tailed brown dog with a little bit of white everywhere. Well, not everywhere. A little bit of white at the end of her tail, a little bit of white on her paws, like a little white on her chest. With like, well, it started off with like really green eyes, but and my father started off the training regime with sitting down and lay down and stay. Those are the three that my father started training Sage with. But I was the one that did more of the upkeep on making sure that the dog was following those instructions and reinforcing everything, giving treats, scolding, more defining what would make the dog do what.
Yeah.
And so I already told you this. It's in another podcast, but I didn't dislike that dog. She was kind of stupid, but I don't like dogs, and I think dogs are stupid. But she wasn't bad. I do remember a specific time, though. I was down when we were in Jacksonville, Florida. I was playing with the dog in the backyard. I was excited about the dog at first, kind of a little leery, I was just like, oh, it's a female dog, so, that red rocket happened and it won't happen again. But I was just a little uncomfortable with the dog, but it was still fun to play with because it was a puppy. I was out in the back and I was, doing the whole, I'm squatting down a little bit, showing you I want to play, which way you gonna go, gonna whole play thing. And this dog, oh my god, she would start charging towards you, and then like dodge you and go around in a giant circle, and then start charging at you again, and then would do that like 4 times, make a circuit 4 times, and then she'd stop, and then she'd go and go do the play thing where she thumps her front paws down on the ground and has her butt sticking up in the air like, let's do this shit. But this one time I was playing with her and she did that and she started charging and she didn't dodge. She ran right into my shin. It was my left shin. And I just hit the ground.
Yeah.
She full puppy forced into my fucking shin and I buckled. And then, I was on the ground, so she's like, I get to attack the face.
Face attacks.
Yeah. Just, what a punk. What a punk dog. But, good little dog. Good little dog. Actually, it was like a medium-sized dog, so good dog. Good existent dog.
Good existent dog.
Yeah, but knowing my father, dog's probably dead by now. He doesn't have a good track record of not killing off pets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure if he had to raise a baby from a young age onward, the kid wouldn't have fared very well. I think just a little, the kid being lethargic a little bit is just not a big deal, but like the kid might have been literally dying and he would have just been like, it's fine. He'll walk it off like all my allergies. Like Marina.
Yeah.
Good track record. Apathy. Hey, Red.
Okay.
Do you know what ignorance and apathy is?
No, what?
I don't know and I don't care.
Oh, good.
You get it? Ignorance is not knowing something. Apathy is having no feeling towards it. So I don't know and I don't care. I like that joke. It's a good joke. Hey, Red.
Okay.
What do you get when you mix a joke with a rhetorical question?
An answer.
I like that one too. I'm too tired to talk anymore. I've been talking for nearly 3 hours straight.
Yes, you have. And I am proud of you.
You can't hear me saying that he has big man hands. He just waved at me instead.
Yeah.
He had a pretty mouth. He's hiding his mouth. You heard that one. I'm picking on Heath30, the only one I can pick on and enjoy watching school. Yes, please.
I'm almost done. I almost feel satisfied enough to say done.
It's really good. Definitely less cutesy. You're right. I do have like a cutesy art style.
Yeah.
So get this. I had a friend today. Yesterday. 9 o'clock at night or something like that. Basically, he asked me if it was bad to be turned on by what is essentially hentai. I'm like, well, no. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's a little concerning if you're only turned on by hentai, you know? That's a little strange, but it's fine to be, have that as something you're interested in. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And so, from some odd reason, when I mentioned that, he went straight into, do you want to join this hentai group I'm in? I'm like, no. I'm keeping my readings on down low. I don't want to join a situation which is basically like the My Little Pony porn incident all over again.
Yeah.
I mean, because they had Pokemon. It was like the Pokemon porn, and I'm like, I'm good. I don't. What have you done?
Give her a background.
Oh, okay. I just saw something moving, and I'm like, Beth, what are you doing? I'm scared, Red.
Red, don't do it.
But he was like, join this group, and I'm like, I don't know. It seems like it's just a sausage fest right now. You know, only dudes posting hot women. Bring in some barras. Give me some hot, muscular, husky boys, and I'll join the group. He's like, oh, I'm in there, and no one messes with me, so you'd be fine if you join in there, and maybe you can, maybe they'll commission you. And I'm like, my art isn't that good. I'm not that good. Don't do this. You know? I'm not good enough to do like that kind of art because that's really detailed. One, and why is there blood everywhere?
Perfect. It's the way I
You
like
don't
it.
you don't want to get blood on in the teeth area at all?
Maybe it should. Where's it? There it is. Tink.
Indeed. But yeah, he was like, "Hey, maybe they'll commission you. You're good enough." I'm like, "No, I'm not. That's heavy detail. That's body parts I'm not used to drawing, and that I would have to practice numerous times to learn how to draw. And I wasn't particularly interested in doing like that much." And then he was like, "Oh, it's fine. Hey, do you want to do a drawing contest like what me and Dish are doing?" But whatever. And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to install this drawing app, and then we can start." And then he never got back to me. That friend that'll disappear for months and then come back like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that was
think this is beautiful.
yeah, so good. I can't wait for her or for Dish to.
Notice how gory I took the nurse.
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't gore up the universe one, but do you see how you went completely different from what you originally wanted to do?
Yeah.
Not the syringe can't always be in there. Mine is actually it works because, like I said, it's like injecting
Yeah.
her sliminess into people, and plus, I know how to do fingers.
I'm not that great at fingers. You can tell I covered the hands with bloody apron. I love it. I want Dish to see this.
Okay, send it to Dish.
Oh.
Now you're friends with Dish on Facebook.
Okay, I'll have to turn it into a JPEG to send it to her. But there you go. There is. I need to signature mine in the corner.
It took me 6 hours to finish my slime nurse. It took me 10 hours to finish
It took me 3 hours to finish my slime.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, Red.
What? I'm missing pockets, buttons.
Most of mine is getting the shading and lighting to the way I like it, and then doing the background and figuring that out.
Very pretty.
You saw Isaac.
Yeah.
The background?
Isaac, very complicated one.
Yeah, talk about wood detailing. Wood detailing in Isaac.
Yeah. That was a lot of work.
Yeah, the wood detailing in the back that I gave up on halfway through.
You can see how much I improved from the slime one. It's a different art style to this style.
Well, I mean, it's you're still finding your style. Mine is very manga-esque, and yours is developing. Plus, anyway, you had a.
You followed me. How dare you?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to follow me back.
Water.
Well, I don't think we should continue this onslaught of insanity for very much longer. I still need to pass out and be up at whenever my mom shows up.
Right?
Technically, I'm supposed to have laundry done before she shows up, but it's not going to happen. Unless Pete Doty's going to do laundry for me.
I will be doing laundry. Jesus fuck.
He's not listening to a single thing I say. I want to do laundry. I wanted to do laundry before my mom was coming. But I'm probably going to be passed out until she shows up. So then I'll have to do laundry when I get back.
Okay.
Or you could do the laundry for me, but I didn't want you to do the laundry. I just want you to get the change. So I can do laundry. Okay? We'll figure it out.
Okay. Let's say bye-bye to the live stream.
Guys, tell me which hamster you like the best. If you made it this far, you have to tell me which hamster was the best.
That's if they didn't show up around the end of this.
No, you're gonna upload it somewhere.
Yeah, I'm going to abstract them and upload them to the channel.
Yeah. So if you made it all the way through and you heard about the hamsters, Big Hammy is best, correct?
Yes.
Big Hammy is best. He's best.
I'm so proud of this one. This one more looks like a cartoonish style, just... Esque.
Esque.
You can tell
Yeah.
it's layered better, too. Just a little bit.
Yeah, you've never... Have you seen my first digital art?
No. Yes. I don't remember.
Oh, well, that's a story for next time.
Yeah, let's wrap this puppy up. I wanna go to bed.
Yeah, so thank you all for dipping in and out of our live stream.
Thanks for dipping in and out of our lives. I know how terrible it is, but you support.
We have been up way too long.
Yeah.
Definitely past our adult bedtimes. I've been talking for nearly 3 hours straight, so that's fun.
I've been in and out a little bit, mainly concentrating on my amazing.
Yeah. And if Red doesn't cut me off, just like with alcohol, I'll just keep on going, and that's not a good idea for anyone right now. We will try to schedule some live streams, maybe. Or we'll just pop in whenever we bloody feel like it and just keep chatting and doing art. Hear some more of Koneko's stories. Watch some more of Redison's art. The best of both worlds if you're insane.
If you're insane enough. Anyways, y'all have a great, fantastic day.
And or night.
You know, depending where you're at.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye.